los indios nativos somos los verdaderos israelitas.
¿Esto dónde lo dice según el
Esto dice en la Biblia.
Show that Puerto Ricans love America, but that ain't reality.
Police attack was planned beforehand. Only white cops were assigned.
Then our only resources to defend ourselves.
We tried to move people onto the sidewalk, but the police were all out for blood.
Another series of protests was staged by thousands of students, parents, and the Brown Berets. In June 1968, the group that had become known as the East LA 13 was released on bail.
Demonstrate to our people and we deserve better and that we could, get better.
I don't think there's ever been a time when we need more of the spirit of the young lords than today.
I guess we had no fear. We just did what we thought at the time was the right thing to do.
National captain of the Black Panther Party. They are making it their business to process arresting me and my wife, through a process of arresting numerous Panthers on the block.
Police just went in and started beating them viciously. It was ugly. They were just yelling at us, you dirty spicks, dirty Mexicans, who do you think you are?
Yeah. We here. We back at it. So, we back at it. If y'all could, Bubba Kasha, put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me. To anyone watching right now, what's going down, Raza? Shalom, Israel. Aquí estamos. Otra noche. We here another night, Friday night, and you are tuning in to the Inconvenient Truth, La Verdad Incomoda. And of course, I'm right here with Mighty Priest and Officer 5000, Officer Lahab. And I'll give him a hand.
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushai Barakatah to the brothers, Yahweh Shemaratah Bashem Yahushai to the sisters. Man, we're doing it, we're doing it live again, man. I'm gonna pass it to Camarada.
Right. And of course, we got my camarada right here, Mighty Priest and Officer 1000, Officer Camarada.
Hey, Shalom.
Sure, let me see. You're not muted, Camarada. Go ahead. Check. Oh. Try now.
Check.
Orale, I think
check.
Hey, if y'all can hear Camarada, put a 1 in the chat, Bubba Kasha.
Hey, de nuevo voy a decir un saludo a todos mis carnales, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Barakatam. Un saludo para todas mis hermanas, Yahweh Shemalatam Hashem Yahushai.
Órale, carnal, así es. Que Yahweh, en el nombre de Yahweh Shai, les bendigan. Y aquí estamos, man. So what we're going to talk about, carnales? Okay, Most High in Christ, I can hear you comment down.
Most High in Christ.
Yeah, man. Just a real quick question, man. We just came back from that Passover. Give the Passover a hand.
Damn right.
Give the Passover a hand. The Passover was glorious, man. I was at the Passover. It damn near felt like the kingdom of heaven, or was the kingdom of heaven. You done seen the brothers in the garments, brothers, getting on that podium, speaking the Hebrew fluently too.
Right.
Speaking the Hebrew fluently. Brothers had the scrolls. Brothers pouring oil. We done seen brothers we hadn't seen in a minute. We see all the brothers on we see brothers classes. We watch DC, New York, Chicago, Texas, Arizona. We see brothers that we see on Facebook. Like on Facebook and Instagram. We saw them at the Passover, man. It was glorious to see everybody, and of course rocking their garments, eating the lamb, the wine, chopping it up. But I want to ask y'all, man, like as a so-called Hispanic man, so-called Mexican, Latino, how important is it for brothers to come into the truth? Based on your experiences in the truth, how important is it for us to come in here?
Right.
You want to take it, Malakma?
Go ahead, comment.
Go ahead. All right, man, look, first of all, I want to say, look, man, we was away from oppression. We was worrying about clocking in, clocking out. You know what I'm saying? All we was worried about is being with our brothers, man, our family. If you're a so-called Black Latino, Black Hispanic, Native American, you know what I'm saying? We just came together to do the will of the Lord. You know what I mean? And we came under the banner of ISUPK, the only home that has the authorization of keeping the Lord's holy Passover, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But for me, you know, we carved up with brothers. We stayed together, you know what I mean, with brothers from different zones, brothers from Canada, brothers from Chicago, brothers from North California, man. And one thing I assure you is that you're never going to have any type of issues, man. And if you do, you're going to take it to that brother alone. You know what I'm saying? But at the Passover, you're not going to have any type of issues. Everybody is kind, respectful, you know what I mean? Because that's the spirit of Christ, man. And that's the reason why we came together. But the most important thing to be keeping the Lord's Passover as a Hispanic, I would say this, man, that there is no difference between a Hispanic and a so-called Black, a Hispanic and a so-called Native American, man. We are the same. We carry the blood of our patriarchs, man, which is Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know what I mean? Right. We are a family. When it talks about in the Bible, it talks about the 12 tribes. It talks about a house. And in that house, what dwells in there is a family, man. And there is no separation between so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. And we came together and we did our thing, you know what I mean, in the spirit of Christ. Okay. Officer Lahab was saying, you know, we you know, brothers took their time, sisters took their time to put their garments together, look fly, because that's our spirit, man. Our spirit is to look good, smell good, you know what I mean, and have a good time. Right. You know what I mean? So I got to see all my brothers. I got to see brothers from different zones, brothers that I don't know, but I seen them, like Officer Lahab said, you know, we only see each other on social media, but it's like we know each other. And it's not possible if it wasn't for Christ, man. Christ gave us the calling. We answered that call, and we here now. And we out there we go out there, you know what I'm saying, to also bring brothers and sisters to that calling. You know what I'm saying? And I'll pass it on.
If I could, real quick, look at the image I shared. You know what I mean? Nothing says more, you know, One West.
Damn right.
This image right here. This is the days of old right here, Karnal.
Damn right.
Damn right.
And shout out to the brother that took that picture right here, man. You know, I want to say this was the Lord's Passover. You know what I mean?
Right.
And here you have true brotherhood and sisterhood, man. Of course, let me shout out the chat real quick. So in the chat, we got young man Dennis A. Shalom Karnal, Lord of Christ.
Shalom.
We got priest officer Karatazad, you know, out of our zone. A. Shalom.
Shalom. Christ.
We got the sister Mariam Baf Yashikar A. Shalom.
Shalom, hermano.
Yeah, Shalom. Orale, we got Mighty Man up in here. Nataza, what's going down, Karnal?
Tell brother you want to hop on, you can hop on.
Hey, Nataza, I put a link right there in the chat. If you can see, hop on, Karnal, come join us. You know what I'm saying? Come chop it up with us a little bit, you know. Let us know about your Passover experience, Karnal. I mean, one other thing I want to shout out, man, the Hebrew Academy.
Damn right.
Shout out them brothers, man. Get them.
Them brothers went through the fire and came out made out of real gold.
Right.
Refined gold.
Man, them brothers went through it. That's all I could say, man.
Damn right.
From what I've seen. But you know, that's what it is, man. Like all this, right? What's the scripture say? Rehearse the righteous acts.
Right.
Okay.
This is how we end. You know, everyone's scared of what Donald Trump is going to do, you know, and what's going to happen. You know, now is the time that you should contact your nearest ICPK school. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is the home, you know, this is the place of refuge that you go on to turn to when things get crazy. You know what I mean? And things are about to get crazier.
Con, and if I could, man, like there was brothers in that Hebrew Academy class that was like 15. You know what I mean? Them brothers came in here selfless. What's stopping you as a grown man, you know what I mean, coming up in here in these ranks and not just in these ranks, but coming amongst your brothers, man. Coming amongst your sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's stopping you? These young brothers are doing it. You know what I'm saying? They're showing that they selfless, and what you have to do is you have to humble yourself and be selfless, man. Put your life in the hands of a man that's better than you. That's what I did. That's what these brothers did.
Right.
I'll tell you this too. Like you talking about the brothers at 15. I think what not Nazahash. How you say his name? It's like brother from Chicago.
Nataziah.
It's like his son. Anashwan. Yeah, Nashwan, like 15 years old. That brother in the truth. He officer. He graduated Hebrew Academy.
Right.
Like imagine what most the average 15-year-old Hispanic and black man doing at 15 years old.
So like I said, they getting ready to get high out their mind this 420.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
and the reason why I'm saying that because that's what I was doing at 15,
right.
15, 16. I had no idea about the truth, and for that brother to be in the truth, that's a glorious thing. And that shows you like, the school's growing, the truth is growing. A shout out to Anashwan and his father. Right. His father and son both graduated Hebrew Academy together. That's an amazing thing. But for me, Hispanics, I wish all Hispanics can experience this.
Right.
Wish they could be up in here experiencing the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Everything that we do. If you Hispanic, you ain't gotta live your life in fear because outside the truth, it is a fearful thing. A lot of our brothers and sisters are worried about getting deported, getting stopped, getting pulled over. What's gonna happen if I get pulled over? They're gonna take me in, they're gonna pull me over. Like right now, they have us living in fear. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's a scary thing. And you can't water it down because we done had aunts and uncles that have gotten detained and gotten put inside ICE detention centers.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And if I could, sir, like the reason why you drive around in fear is because you have to get high before you go to whatever pagan holiday that you celebrating. You can't be amongst your family without first being high. And while you high, you driving around, you won't get caught up, man. You know what I'm saying? But when we do the work of the Lord, we are on our way to do the work of the Lord, and I have no fear, man. I have no fear when I do the work of the Lord because I ain't gonna get caught up. You know what I mean? Because I'm a changed man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Fear nothing but the Lord, right?
Feel nothing but the Lord. Damn right.
And let me add this, man. I do want to address a couple things that they say about us, right? You always get, haters out there saying that, oh, you Israelites, this is why nobody takes y'all seriously. Y'all a joke. People laugh at y'all. Y'all so, y'all not deep, this and that. Well, let me tell you something. The Bible says to be fools for Christ's sake.
Damn right.
The Bible says that we fear nothing but the Lord, man. So we don't give a damn what any of y'all got to say about how we look, about whether you take us seriously or not. We could care less. You know what I mean?
Right.
We doing our job, and that's that. The world, what's the scripture say? The scripture say that if the world hated you, just know that it has hated me.
It hated me first.
Right? Because ye are not of the world. So when y'all over there, y'all laughing at us, hating us, want to demonize us, we know it comes with the territory. And we, it is what it is. But we know we're going to fish that one brother or sister that's listening to what we're saying.
Right.
One amongst you that will hear what we're saying and understand. And as times get crazier, as the times turn dark because of the new government in power, y'all will get a more clear image and understanding of what's really going down. Sister said, meanwhile, they painting us yet. Y'all go ahead, keep painting your eggs. How much are eggs now? Doesn't matter. Go waste that money on that,
And so like that lets you know, if I could, that lets you know that the Lord is against, he does not want poor people who are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to celebrate a pagan holiday, man. Don't you know that you are worshiping Ishtar?
Right.
It's like real quick. So they use real eggs for Easter egg hunts?
That's
insane.
But how expensive eggs are, man. You really want to make those, what they be doing, getting the yolk out and then putting the what is it? The glitter and
they put some
the confetti, whatever that stuff's called, inside the egg, crack it over somebody's head.
And the Lord said this, man. The Lord said, if you sacrifice unto other gods, any god, you know what I'm saying, that is not the most high power, you're gonna be utterly destroyed, man.
Right. And then just real quick too, like, come on, man, you can't you can't be so damn foolish to let these holidays put you like in a daze or make you forget of what is going on, because that's really what goes on with these holidays. Like you got Easter coming up, you got maybe Mother's Day, Father's Day, 4th of July, and then of course everything that comes after that, Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving. Like you forget about what's happening.
Right,
man. Forget the holidays, man. It's time for you to be up in here. Like if you see one of our teachings, our speakings, or you hear about Command Journey Hana about the UPK, like you need to go ahead and just rush in here and get yourself cleaned up, and follow through. Throw away the cross, throw away the Virgen de Guadalupe, throw away the white Jesus, throw away the idols, throw away the drugs, weed, everything, all the the sinful lifestyle that you're living. Because you best believe things are gonna get hard, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna talk about it later on. How that brother just got deported from origin Maryland. He got deported from Maryland to El Salvador.
Right.
Who knows, man? That could be you.
Yeah,
that could be you. Because right now they're pushing the issue for a lot of us to get deported.
Right.
We're gonna say coming out like
so. Like as if I could, man. Look, if you worried about your family member being deported, right? Everybody's against Donald Trump right now, right? But if you go out and you celebrate Easter, if you go out and you celebrate what's on the 4th of July,
right?
You're a damn hypocrite, man.
Right.
You have to forsake those things. If you're gonna be against Trump, Easter is an American pagan holiday.
Right.
4th of July, all these Mother's Day, Father's Day, all these things are American pagan holidays. But if you keep those days, you are a damn hypocrite, man. You love Donald Trump. You're gonna have to separate. If you want to separate from Donald Trump, you're also gonna have to separate from his culture.
Right.
You can't have both. You can't say you hate Donald Trump or you're against Donald Trump, but you're gonna keep celebrating the same holidays that he celebrates. That doesn't make no sense.
Right.
That's all I want to say.
Orale, we got right here two people. So we got the sister Tapara. Hey, shalom, sis. Yahweh Shema by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Then we got some Mariah up in here. Hey, shalom, Yahweh Shema. Oh,
so like and then I was
you said Mariah?
Mariah.
Oh, the brother from Chicago.
Yeah, brother from Chicago.
Yeah, damn. Shalom, I don't want to like that.
Then we got Officer 5000 Matavar.
Shalom, sir. Just with the.
Then we got the sister LaBois. Hey, shalom, sister Yahweh Shema.
Shalom, sister Yahweh Shema. Shalom, sis.
So everybody tuned in tonight. So please, Baba Kashug, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, to our main channel. Let me put it up here in the chat real quick. I don't want before we get started. The Inconvenient Truth. This is our channel. Y'all can go to that channel and subscribe so we get the numbers up, man. So we get this message out. We greatly appreciate it. Baba Kashug. Let me share real quick.
One more, another thing I want to touch on too is alcoholism,
right?
And how the drinking destroys Hispanic families,
right?
So I want to touch a little bit on that as well. It's okay to drink,
right?
You can have a drink, but it's wrong for you to be an alcoholic.
We
was talking about the other day in class, and I know a lot of Hispanics have that problem of overdoing it, drinking a whole bottle of liquor.
Right.
And then you drink a whole bottle of liquor. Now you got a brother beating his wife.
Right.
You got a brother hitting his kids. Y'all heard stories like that before. I know there's about 1,000 of them, right?
Right.
I done heard that before too.
Right.
And that's a problem, man. You can't be that person. You can't be a brother beating your wife and beating your kids and letting the liquor and alcohol, take over you.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of our people, it's time for us to get it right, man. Get yourself together. I'll tell you this. Here's nothing. Donald Trump, he trying to get rid of brothers that have DUIs.
Right.
You over there. If you is crack, you over there drinking and driving drunk out of your mind. Like, what do you think they're gonna do? You think they're gonna give you the pass and let you slide?
Hell no.
Man, that's your ticket to jail. And that's your ticket right to the detention center. Like, what I'm saying is that we got to conduct ourselves better. We got to, regulate ourselves and be like, okay, if they're coming harder on us, then I got to make a change in myself quick.
Right.
Otherwise, these cats are not going to hesitate to throw you in a cell.
Right.
These cats are not going to hesitate to throw you inside a ICE detention center. So with that being said, man, that should wake you up to think like, okay, maybe I shouldn't drink a whole bottle of liquor in the morning. Maybe I shouldn't drink a 12-pack or 18-pack every day. I get it though. You know, all we do is work. And so when you come home, you want to drink.
Right.
But, you know, you got to balance it. You got to be like, okay, do I really got to drink an 18-pack? And that 18-pack, I'm not exaggerating that pack.
Right.
You know, some brothers do drink an 18-pack of beer every day. Sound crazy. You might be thinking, oh, like he exaggerating that. It might be a 6-pack. Now, some brothers actually drink an 18-pack, a 12-pack a day. You know, life is hard, but you know what? They're coming harder on us. So with that being said, like, you know, you gotta have some discipline and self-control as Hispanics, Mexicans, Latinos. We gotta control that demon of being an alcoholic.
Right, sir.
You know, like I said, it's not a sin to drink. You could have a drink. You could have a couple drinks. But, you know, a whole bottle of liquor to yourself and then 2 40s, nah, like that's overdoing it. That's going to get you jammed up. Now you're going to get in that car. You're going to be driving. You're going to crash. You might kill somebody.
Right.
And then now they're going to be like, see, told you, immigrant right here. This is what they're doing.
Yeah,
now we got to get rid of them.
Right.
Go ahead. What are you going to say?
Now imagine that. That's what they do, right? We get deep, and it's crazy how this society works, sir. So this oppressor does so much to us, right? And we're always told we can't generalize them all. They're not all bad, but when it comes to us, oh, now you can't let these illegals come in. Now you see what they're bringing. Same thing with with our Judite brothers and sisters. See what they do. They're 13% of the population and commit most of the crime. That's what they say.
Mm-hmm.
When one of them does something, that shows you the hypocrisy of this country, man.
Right.
What this country stands on is complete BS.
Right, because then white boys are doing the same thing. You know, at the college parties and things like that, where they're getting drunk out of their mind, and you done seen videos when their team win. Let's say the Rams win,
right?
And you got all these white boys on the street over there, causing chaos, breaking cars, and all kinds of stuff.
Spirit of the team,
and then to them it's like, oh, they're just celebrating.
Yeah,
but when we do it, it's like, look, thugs and gangsters, and they're criminals. We need to get rid of them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like when we do it, man, they're gonna come harder on you. Right. They're gonna give these white boys a slap in the wrist. But when you do it,
right,
like, man, they ain't gonna show no mercy towards you.
Right, sir. That's heavy you say that, because that's what it be like, man. So, like, if I could real quick, so what I changed is, right, I threw up the QR code right there on the upper right-hand corner. If y'all see that, Bubba Kasha, scan it and go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. If y'all could. So we can get that, get them subscribers up, man. I'll get the subscribers up,
And also like and share.
Like and share. Comment, like and share. The slavery in the Latino community has us drinking our pain away. Oh, there's another image I want to share. If I could share this real quick, sir. This image is heavy, right?
And when you're looking for that, Malama, if I could, just to add to the alcoholism, right? Like Officer Lahai was saying, it's not a sin to drink, but if it's hurting you, if it's hurting your health, and now you have an excuse, like you blame it on the alcohol, you shouldn't be drinking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be drinking if you're going to say, well, it's because I was drunk. You know what I mean? You can't be drunk.
You know what they say, right?
What they say, Malama?
The truth comes out when you're drunk. Your true feelings come out.
God, you become emotional.
You become emotional. So whatever hatred you was holding, you got the liquid courage to express it. But look at this image right here, right? Since we're speaking on the matter, right? And I just wanted to add this because of the brother, man, Dennis, touched on this. The slavery in the Latino community has us drinking our pain away. Well, here's another example of the slavery in the Latino community. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words, and that'll we'll go into our first story, about the brother, right, Kilmar. But look at this image, Commodore. You see it on your screen?
I'm trying to.
No sweat. It's been circulating around the internet.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, when people want to say, "Oh, well, the Latinos no curses fit them," oh, they're not Israelites. Show them this image. You know what I mean? Show them this image right here and how they have the carnales.
You see it?
Oh yeah. Okay, I saw that earlier. Yeah.
Okay, so that's what Bukele, the president of El Salvador, that's what he's doing to the MS-13 18th Street, and then soon to do it to brothers that are getting deported to El Salvador.
If I could too, sir. Let's say a brother does not have no tattoos as affiliated with any gangs out there, right? If they even make a threat saying that, you know, my cousin from this gang is gonna get you, he's coming for you, man.
Imagine.
There's videos. There's a TikTok channel where they upload videos, and I seen a video where it was a sister, right, and she made a threat against another sister after some club or what have you, and they found her and they locked her up because they say that she was affiliated, even if she had no tattoos, no nothing, but just because she affiliated herself with a gang.
Right,
she's incarcerated. You know what I mean? So, brothers and sisters, you got to be careful, man. Like, you got to keep it true. Don't say you're a part of something if you don't belong there. Right, you know what I'm saying? Right. Because you're gonna be what they call him, like guilty by association. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, man. Like, if you don't belong to that, don't associate yourself with that. And that's for brothers and sisters that are out there. Right. And everybody loves that Bukele. Yeah. But he does not have our people's best interest in mind. He does not.
Right.
Like a lot of people, I've been hearing about Bukele for maybe about 4 or 5 years. And the reason why a lot of Latinos like Bukele is because what he did to El Salvador. He done got rid of MS-13 18th Street. Right. And because of it, they're like, okay, we need more presidents like Bukele. We need a Bukele in Mexico and other parts of Central America because he got rid of the gangs. And so they damn near looked at him like damn near like the savior. Yeah. But of course, Bukele has his own agenda and he's starting to see it now. Yeah. He in there, like now you see like he making money now. I think that what they're saying is that for every prisoner that gets deported to El Salvador, he's getting $6 million for that inmate.
So like I said, I think it's a day he's getting like 1,000 some hundred, what I mean, a day.
A day.
You know
what I mean? So this guy right here, you got to be a fool to think that he really out there trying to help out the people from El Salvador.
Right. It's all the business.
The people from the tribe of Zebulon.
Right.
Like, that's not what he's trying to do. He has his own agenda and he's making his own moves. You know what I mean? You can't trust in a politician.
Right.
And time and time again, like each tribe, we fall for that. That sometimes the tribe of Judah fell for Obama. Yeah. They thought Obama was there to help him out. And then Hispanics, we think is that Jewish lady. The Mexicans think is that Jewish lady out there that's really there to help out the country. And then for El Salvador, it's the Palestinians. The Palestinian man, Jewish man, and the white man, they cannot help our people.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's a scripture where it says that Christ or the Most High chose someone from our own tribe,
right?
To lead us.
Deuteronomy 17.
Deuteronomy 17?
17.
Okay. Deuteronomy 17 and 17. And none of them are an Israelite. And none of them are from our neighborhoods. None of them grew up the way we grew up. So how are they going to understand our struggle? How are they going to understand where we come from when they never been, in your situation, in your neighborhood or your environment? They never could understand you, and they can never help you. You understand? What you got to do is going back to the school. You got to find Commander Rihanna because right there you're gonna find brothers that are from your neighborhood. You're gonna find. If you're in Mexico, who are you gonna find? You gotta find Yashikar,
right?
Because that brother is from Mexico, grew up in Mexico,
right?
Understands Mexicans, and so do y'all brothers. That's who you gonna find, and then we gonna go into this Bible, and we gonna follow these laws and commandments, and we gonna get ourselves right.
Damn right.
But that Jewish bride in Mexico, she ain't gonna help you out.
Right.
She gonna be there for 4 years, and then she gonna bail out, and that's gonna be it. And then the next politician that comes around, it's gonna be the same thing. He's gonna say a couple things, game you up, and then that'll be it. And then there'll be another politician doing the same thing. You can't rely on a politician. You can't rely on the president. You can't rely on a priest or a pastor, because they're just saying things that sound good.
Right.
And if I could, sir, like that just lets you know that she's still aligned with Trump, because when Trump started putting these tariffs on the Mexico, Canada, right, and like she's going against him, right? But it lets you know Donald Trump said that any artist that sings corridos, he's gonna what do you say? He's gonna take their visas away. And now, and you know, there's stories. I don't know the full story of it, but I've been hearing that, like, you know, she's been if any brother that sings corridos in Mexico, right? Like I don't like I said, I don't know the full story. I got to look into it, but pretty much their career is jeopardized because they sing corridos. Right. You know, that just lets you know that she's aligned with Trump. It seems like because he's charging them tariffs, and you know what I mean, like they're butting heads, but you know they're still what's the scripture says, that they have a and what was that, Psalms where they come together for a crafty counsel. They still confederate against they're still confederate against you know, Hispanics.
Enemies make a tumult.
You know, and you know.
They've been doing that for a minute, though. The whole thing trying to ban corridos inside Mexico, but come on, like, them brothers they are off. They do kill people. You know, they are doing things that are, you know, insane.
It's off,
but it's not as bad as the Catholic Church in Mexico. How many kids are getting molested inside the Catholic Church?
Right.
Yeah.
Where's the outcry of, you know, we need to stop the Catholic Church and we need to ban churches in Mexico because of all the kids that get molested inside that church? Come on, man.
I got a story to share, if y'all could, real quick, since we're speaking on Bukele, right? And it ties in with Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Right. Oh, come on. Hold on. El Salvador, this article right here. Can y'all see it right there? All right. El Salvador's president says he won't return mistakenly deported man to the U.S. The Trump administration now claims Kilmar Abrego Garcia wasn't deported by mistake, as the Justice Department said, but was the right person sent to the right place.
So he ain't trying to give him up. He gonna keep him. You know, and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of our people think that this Bukele was the man. You know, that we need more presidents like Bukele. That cat, like what you were saying, Commandant, you starting to see his true colors. You starting to see what he's really about.
Right.
I want to, like, soon you're gonna see what he's gonna do to the people of El Salvador. He done got rid of MS-13 and 18th Street. Now let's see what he does with the rest of the people that are living there.
Okay.
Right. So, like, 1 second. Here's the news article.
Facilitate to mean there's no need for the U. Today, President Trump welcoming the leader of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, to the Oval Office.
We have millions of people that should not be in this country.
President Bukele has taken in alleged gang members deported from the U.S. and posted videos of their arrivals at a notorious prison. Among them, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a father of 3 with a work permit in Maryland. A Justice Department prosecutor had said he was deported due to an administrative error. Bukele now says he won't send Abrego Garcia back.
How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
The White House now argues he was...
Imagine that.
They're calling him a terrorist.
Yeah.
And the cat is not a terrorist. Like, you know, when you think of a terrorist, you thinking about Bin Laden and, you know, then those, what do you call them? Those people, we call them
Al-Qaeda?
Al-Qaeda, the Arabs, like the damn Arabs,
Yeah.
them terrorists right there. They want flying planes inside, you know, buildings and suicide bombs. This cat right here, man, you know, they're saying he beat his wife. You know, he has tattoos, but that cat is not a terrorist.
Right.
You know, he's not going inside buildings and shooting people and blowing himself up and flying planes inside buildings.
And so, like I said, just like what was it yesterday? It was a story about in a university where a devil went into the university and unalived 2 people, and he injured 6. Like that's a terrorist right there.
Right.
This brother did not get a weapon and went into a market, a school, or what have you, and open fire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the people who are really or truly doing that, and when you look it up, man, I've been looking at stories on YouTube about crimes like unalive crimes.
Right.
It's always a devil.
Right.
Always a devil, and they don't consider them terrorists. Now, this brother, you're gonna have problems, in the Black and Hispanic and Native American communities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Where a brother gets out of hand or what have you, but he's not doing what the oppressor's doing, and then he gets labeled a terrorist.
Right. I remember this. I don't know if y'all remember this. Is a couple years back. Y'all remember that white man that dressed up as I think he dressed up as Batman and went into this movie theater.
Oh,
and killed, and it happened in Colorado.
Justin Holmes or something like that,
something
right?
like that. But he dressed up as Batman.
Yeah.
He's in the movie theater, and he had these the smoke bombs or whatever. Tear gas.
Yeah, tear gas. Yeah,
tear gas. He threw it in the movie theater, went in there, and just started shooting up everybody inside the movie theater.
Man,
you know how many cases of you'll hear about of white people doing that?
Right.
He had the other one in Texas. That devil that went into the Walmart.
Right.
He had an AR-15.
Patrick Crucis. Yeah, he targeted Hispanics.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's a terrorist right there. And did not leave out North Carolina or South Carolina where the devil Dillon store roof went inside the church.
Yeah,
right.
That's a terrorist right there. You know what I mean? But of course, they will never label them a terrorist. But for a brother that got some crime on them, they're gonna be like, yeah, they're terrorists. Donald Trump labeled MS-13 18th Street as a terrorist organization. These are you go to Koreatown. There's just a bunch of little knuckleheads on the street, tatted up. They might be
Garcia, father of 3 with a work permit in Maryland.
At stores and over there, shooting up everybody that they see.
They're not targeting places,
right? Targeting places and going there with AR-15s and shooting everybody that they see.
If I could, sir, this is one thing I'll say. Isn't this what's that saying? Isn't this the pot calling the kettle black? Like, when we go over the history of your nation of people, who are you calling the terrorists, right? You're a Palestinian, right? Then we go over to PLO, Hamas, and whatever other organization y'all got, and y'all commit terrorist acts.
Right.
And you dare call this brother a terrorist?
Right. Like your whole people are terrorists.
Right. Your nation, y'all got Hamas.
Right. So like, and speaking about that, like it was a woman that committed a terrorist act against the school. The brothers out there in Indiana.
Palestinian.
Oh, right.
Right. And she didn't even get charged as a terrorist.
Right.
Well, I don't know what was the charge, but she wasn't labeled a terrorist. You know what I'm saying?
Even a hate crime, right?
A hate crime.
They will let a hate crime.
But her intentions were hateful.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not knowing that in that barracks there was little children.
Right.
Babies, families, women, brothers.
Right.
That's crazy,
How did she get deported?
And that shows that what is it? The stranger that is among you shall get very high. That shows the status these heathens have in this country versus so-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, and so-called Native Americans.
Okay.
Look at what happened to the Native American community when Standing Rock happened and they came after them. You remember when we went to that powwow and how the brothers said that, like, the people that organized that whole thing, little by little, they were all disappearing? I remember that brother said that. Little by little, all the people that helped organize the protests against the Dakota Access Pipeline.
Oh, North Dakota?
Yeah.
Okay.
Disappearing.
Damn.
Like, you know who was getting them, That's your terrorist right there.
Right.
It's not the people protesting the pipeline. It's not the raza working out there in the streets. It's not, so-called black folk out there, surviving poverty. You're the terrorist.
Damn right.
And if
You're
I
the
could,
terrorist, hombre blanco, gringo.
and if I could, in the voice of Officer Regalia, wake your game up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm saying that is because, look, America says that China is the number one enemy, that Russia is the number one enemy, but I don't hear the outcries of Chinese people and Russian people for their families. It's only Hispanics and Native Americans. The reason why I say Native Americans is because they're deporting Native American brothers back to Canada. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones that are being targeted. If this is real issue against illegals, why aren't Chinese and Russians and every other ethnic group crying about their families being in cages?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's only Hispanics because that's who they hate.
Right. Here, I'll pick more of this real quick.
Says he won't send Abrego Garcia back.
How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
The White House now argues he was not mistakenly deported.
He's an illegal alien from El Salvador. Where was he sent? To El Salvador.
The Trump administration says Abrego Garcia is a member of
And that I had a pause right there because that always makes my blood boil. I cannot stand when this oppressor starts calling so-called Hispanics illegal aliens, starts calling us immigrants, starts calling us foreigners. We're on our home continent, on our land, devil. You're the illegal alien.
Yeah, right.
You're the foreigner. You're the one bringing the crime. You know, it like kills me. It's like you blame the raza for all the drugs that are coming in, for the fentanyl that's coming in, right? And then when we bring up and call you out for what you bring in and what you do, what do you tell us? You tell us, well, you shouldn't pick up a gun. You shouldn't take the drugs. No one make y'all pick up the crack and sell it. Well, the same goes to you, devil. Why don't y'all stop picking up fentanyl? Why don't y'all stop using drugs? Bet you the market will end and the drugs will stop coming in. But you oppressors, you so-called white people have no compassion, have no sense of logic. You know what I mean? Y'all the ones taking the drugs and you mad because they're bringing in the drugs. Y'all want them. So why don't y'all put the drugs down and that'll solve those other issues you're talking about.
Why can't he just let him go?
Right.
Like, no, he ain't got to let him out of, he ain't got to send him back to the United States. But what he can do is just let the brother go.
Right.
If he ain't a criminal, if they got the wrong guy, they should just let that brother go. Let him go free. But he's not even trying to do that.
Right.
He's trying to have him cramped up with all the other brothers that he has locked up.
Right.
Man, I see those pictures out, and that is hell right there.
Right.
The way they're doing them out, they're doing them dirty.
Right.
And like I said, if this brother's innocent, then he shouldn't have to go through that. He should be able to walk, and then just let him be.
And bring him back home. If he's innocent, as you're saying, why won't you let the man come back home? You should pay for his flight back. You wrongfully took him out there. That's the least you could do.
Damn right.
But I understand. I understand that this is a heartless animal that we live under. An animal has no sense of humanity in them.
And Bukele is looking at it like, why am I going to let him go when I'm getting how much money a day?
Let me see. I'll look it up right now.
He's getting like
I heard $6 million for each.
I think it's like $1,600 a day.
Okay,
but it probably amounts to $6 million a year. If just for I don't know if you make the math. You know what I'm saying? But I recall it's like 1,000 something a day per inmate.
Mm-hmm.
And Donald Trump has said that. He said that any criminal, he's going to send them off to another country and he'll pay for them to hold them prisoner.
Right. They're trying to get brothers that are American citizens deported to El Salvador. They're trying to push that issue. If that should be your wake up call.
Yeah,
that should be your wake up call right there. Like, man, like if they're trying to send American citizens, like, man, if you Hispanic and black man, you need to stop that gang banging and selling drugs like ASAP. Go ahead.
And if I could, how you said the DUI?
Yeah.
Like he's looking to also, if you're an American citizen, right? Like just how he said that he's going to send illegals, but he's only under that umbrella is only Hispanics and Native Americans, right? The same thing when he talks about citizens, he's only speaking about black, so-called black and Hispanic citizens.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you commit a crime, that's why you got to strain yourself out, man. You have to change. Where do you learn to change? In the ISUPK. This is the only place to learn how to change, man. To forsake your lifestyle and never look back, never look over your shoulder, and to move forward. This is the only school that you can learn how to do that. And what I was gonna say, sir, that he's only gonna target again those people who are God's chosen people because they know who we are.
Right. Imagine this, like imagine you like it's 2025, you out the game making, you go out there and catch a body, and you some it's like I ain't gonna front. Some brothers want to go to the pen. Some brothers want to get locked up. I've been hearing this since I was like 15.
Right.
Like cats trying to get trying to
Stripes.
go to jail, get the stripes, and go to prison and shit. Hey, how you gonna feel when they're telling you, yeah, you about to go to Salvador. Guantanamo Bay. You going to El Salvador? You're gonna be like, what? Like, you know, I'm trying to be with all the, with all the Southsiders and program Northerners. I'm trying to be with Southerners and Northerners, whatever. Like, you ain't gonna be there. You're gonna be in a whole different country. You know? So that should tell you, man, like, oh nah, let me change my life. Let me push myself away from this because this stuff right here is gonna get me jammed up. And you ain't trying to go to El Salvador, man. You know, just look up videos and pictures and see how they're doing the brothers out there, man. It's inhumane. But go ahead, Malama, what was you say?
I was gonna add real quick. Look, this is what it says. It says how Bukele benefits from accepting U.S. deportation flights. This is how much he gets: $20,000 per inmate a year at Trump's favor. That's why he doesn't want to let him go, because he doesn't want to lose that $20,000.
It's probably more.
No, well, this is what could probably happen. I don't want what it probably is, right? Is that if he lets him go, how many other prisoners right there are innocent and are there by mistake?
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's one. He probably doesn't want it to get out that a lot of them brothers there are innocent. You know what I mean? So he has to paint them as a terrorist. America has to paint them as a criminal. You know what I mean? So that they don't lose that faith, they don't lose that money, so that they don't look bad. You know what I mean? That's really that. More than likely, that's really what it is. He knows he's innocent. Trump knows this brother is innocent, man, but he can't afford to look like he fucked up.
No, I'll tell you this is only the beginning too.
Right.
Hey, so like and that brother's more innocent than Donald Trump. How many felonies Donald Trump got?
39, right?
He got hell of felonies, man. That nigga should be somewhere in El Salvador or Guantanamo himself.
Right.
Damn bastard.
Right.
Yeah, man. It's been how many months since Donald Trump been president?
Like 3 months.
You talking about like 3 months? 3 months. Like they only getting started with this.
Yeah. Right.
Let's see how it's gonna be a year from now, 2 years from now.
Right.
You know, they're gonna come down heavier.
Right. So like, just finish sharing this story.
MS-13, a violent gang the White House has designated as a foreign terrorist organization. His family denies it, and he's never been charged criminally in the U.S. or El Salvador.
President Trump, bring Kilmar home now.
Late last week, the Supreme Court ordered the Trump administration to facilitate his return to the U.S.
That's the order. The order is bring him back.
But the White House doesn't see it that way. It's interpreting facilitate to mean there's no need for the U.S. to initiate his return, only help if El Salvador decides to do so.
This is international matters, foreign affairs.
So now it makes sense, right? Now it makes sense as to why Bukele doesn't want to let him go. How he can't do anything. Because then, you know, as they just said right now,
if they wanted to return him, we would facilitate it, meaning provide a plane.
President Trump also says the Attorney General is looking into whether the law allows deporting U.S. citizens to El Salvador if they were violent.
I don't know what the laws are. We always have to obey the laws, but we also have homegrown criminals. I'm all for it.
Did he just say he always?
I'm all for it.
Salaga, if I could, he wants to deport citizens.
Yeah.
Right. And then he says he doesn't know what the laws are against citizens.
No, he's talking about when he doesn't keep. You got how many felonies again, Donald Trump? But you keep the law, right? You want to talk about keeping the law when you don't keep the laws. That's why you got 39 felonies, man.
He said, I don't know the laws. Like, yeah, we know. Because you're over there breaking all of them.
Breaking
you got
all
30 felonies. You know what's funny? How many felonies you got?
39, right?
39 felonies.
So, let me ask the chat, right? How many felonies does Donald Trump have? Bubba Kashup, to the listening audience, if y'all could, Bubba Kashup, fill me in.
And I'll tell you this, and the average Hispanic man, black man in the hood, how many felonies does he have? He got like two, three. It has to be 3, right? Because then if not, they'll lock you up.
Yeah.
To imagine that.
This guy got 39.
39 felonies.
If you got one felony, they think,
you can even get a job.
3-time felony.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even get a job, but this nigga's in the presidency.
Right. Oh, the sister said it right here. Mariah said it. 39 felonies.
39.
That's hilarious, man.
This devil got 39 felonies, man. And he wants to talk about, keeping the laws and stuff. She said he should have been locked up long ago for life. She said 3-strike rule consists. 3-strike rule.
Yeah.
That's how much.
And that's Joe Biden. Everybody voted for Joe Biden when Joe Biden is the man who came up with the 3 strikes rules.
Right.
That was against blacks and Hispanics. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was under Bill Clinton.
Imagine that, man.
97. I remember that.
God, they started throwing all kinds of brothers inside the prison system.
Right. That is wild, man. And that's how you know that everything going on in this country, right? It's not about morals. It's not about being a civil and superior people. These devils are just crafty, man.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just crafty. They know how to, this is a system that benefits them. You want to talk about there's no such thing as white privilege. We just showed you. This is the proof white privilege exists. That you can have a president that has 39 felonies and win and want to go for a 3rd term. And best believe if he goes for that 3rd term, he's going to win again. You know what I mean?
I don't think he's going to try to do a 3rd time. I think he's trying to do 4, 5, 6 terms.
Sir, he pardoned real terrorists. The niggas that broke into what was that? Those
Capitol
are
building.
Yeah, those are terrorists, and he pardoned them.
Right.
But this brother, he's not willing to pardon. Oh, now you don't know what the laws are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But then niggas, what they call the something boys.
The Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys. Yeah. He pardoned the Proud Boys who are terrorists.
Right.
That poor brother took the rap for all of them, right? Enrique he got he was a face, a scapegoat for all of it. And he's still loyal to him. He's still loyal to Donald Trump, and that's to America. If y'all haven't seen that interview with Commander Johanna and him.
That's a double standard.
Yeah, double standard.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna label this brother a terrorist and send him off to a foreign country. But these niggas that broke into the Capitol who are real terrorists, they're walking around in America.
Right. It's crazy coming out. If I could, they make excuses. They talk about, it wasn't us, it was the FBI. The FBI instigated this and that. I always respond to them like this. Well, y'all didn't have to go after, y'all didn't have to go storm the Capitol.
Yeah.
If you thought it was the FBI instigating something, why'd y'all follow the FBI?
Right.
Why did you let them antagonize you? If they were throwing things at you, why did y'all, respond back with violence, right? Why didn't y'all protest the right way, as y'all tell us? You know what I mean? Y'all are such big hypocrites, man.
Right.
So let me finish this story.
Because we can do things with the president for less money and have great security.
Meanwhile, another Columbia University student involved in anti-Israel campus protests has been arrested and detained, according to his lawyer. Mohsen Madawi is a lawful permanent resident, his attorney says, who was arrested at his naturalization interview in Vermont.
And Gabe, lawyers for that Columbia student are already fighting his detention.
Yes, Lester, and today a federal judge temporarily blocked the student's removal. The incident comes amid a widening crack.
Imagine that. So they were able to stop that Palestinian student from getting deported, but the brother that first got caught, they didn't stop it, and they're not trying to bring them back. Like like I said, Rasa, take note of what's happening. Take note of how little you matter to this society, to this country.
And if I could, my one thing I've been seeing on Facebook is that USC has been putting out awareness of Palestinian, what do you call them? Protesters, right? Palestinian protesters, how they are being violent against people who don't stand with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's an act of terrorism. Why isn't he being sent to his country? If you're not gonna be sent to El Salvador, where the other brother is, you know what I mean? He should be in El Salvador too. Right. But send him away from the US. You know what I mean? Because he is a terrorist. And we've been seeing the UCLA. So did I say UCLA? It was UC. Okay, no, it was UCLA. So but that's a university, right? UCLA has been putting out awareness, and I've been seeing it on Facebook how they're trying to do the propositions and things like that to come against Palestinian protesters because they are being violent against people who stand for, we don't stand for either or side. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. But they have been saying how they violent. Right. That's a terrorist. But so like I said, what were we gonna say? So
I ain't never heard no Palestinian get deported before.
Right.
And I'll tell you this, that if you were Hispanic, because you know what we're big on? Protesting for other nations.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what you gonna do? You over there protesting at the Palestinian protest.
Yeah.
Cops come and they get you, and then you end up in the ICE detention center and you end up getting deported while they let these cats go. Like, come on, man.
And where are those Palestinians, waving the Mexican or Central American flag? The Mexicans and the Central Americans went to those Palestinian protesters and waved their flag. Right. Like where are they raising up a voice for our people?
Right. I think those Palestinian protests, I bet there's about maybe a handful of Palestinians that are actually there, and the rest of them are probably Hispanic and black.
Right. Yeah, damn right.
Sir.
And then get mad when you speak against it. You know what I mean? When you call it out, like, how dare you? Like here's an example. Let's see if this image comes out. It's like you have to side. You can't love your own. You have to love everyone else. Mm-hmm. I'll stop sharing this. Enough of that. I have one more thing on him. Then we can go to the next topic.
Okay.
Let's see. Here we go. This Senator. They met with the brother, man, because they were trying everything they can to demonize them. You know what I mean? So that they can make it look like they're correct. And he met with this lawyer, right? This attorney, who was attorney general or something like that.
And if I could, I also heard, because Coca-Cola supposedly, they set up a fake meeting and they ambushed the Latinos, right? But I also heard that there was Hispanics that had a court date, and at the court they picked them up and deported them when they had a court date to fight, their case to get, I guess, residencies. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't even make it to their appointment. They right at the door they picked them up and deported them.
Right.
Like that's crafty counsel.
Right. That is wild, man. Here, let me play this one. This was this is the main video I had.
To travel to El Salvador with one goal: to meet the man wrongly deported and imprisoned by Donald Trump. Senator Chris Van Hollen posted an image of himself with Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia, a man now at the center of not just a debate about immigration, but a constitutional crisis.
And he was illegally abducted from the United States and charged with no crime.
Garcia had been living in Maryland, a Salvadoran father who admits entering the US illegally more than a decade ago. But a judge in 2019 ruled that he could not be deported back to El Salvador because his life might be in danger there. And yet he was deported, along with many others, in March and sent to the notorious Seacop prison. the Trump administration has admitted this was an administrative error. The Supreme Court ruled that the White House must facilitate his release, but the US government said that was up to El Salvador, and their president, seated alongside Donald Trump earlier this week, refused to do that.
How can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
And so Senator Van Hollen traveled to El Salvador to try to find out what was happening to Mr. Garcia.
And these soldiers were ordered to prevent us from going any farther.
Initially being refused entry into the prison before finally sitting down with him yesterday. For the senator, this is a test of whether the courts can stand their ground.
We need to make sure that the court system works and due process works, because if you take it away for any individual, it's a very short road to taking it away for every American.
And yet the Salvadoran president, who posted these images, said that now Garcia...
You heard what he said?
Go ahead. What he said?
He said something about taking away the, what is it? Let me rewind it back. Look what he said. Look at what he said. I don't want to, it's heavy he said that, because this is something that, you know, in that class that Count Stop the War brought out.
Foreign president, who posted these images, said that now Garcia has been confirmed healthy, he gets the honor
for every American. Well, it's a very short road to taking it away for every. Due process works, because if you take
their ground,
we need to make sure that the court system works and due process works, because if you take it away for any individual, it's a very short road to taking it away for every American.
And yet,
you know what I'm saying? That's what Camp Stop the War brought out. That they do. That's why he's really fighting for him. It's not because he gives a damn about Kilmar Abrego. He's worried about what's going to happen down the road. And it's as he brought out, you know, as Camp Stop the War brought out in the class, they're going to go after the Democrats. They're going to go after the liberals. They're going to go after, you know, what is it? All those
white men that hate the government.
Yeah, all those far left movements. You
Right.
know what I mean? They're gonna lock them up and send them to Seco.
Mm.
That's what he's scared of, and that's why they're fighting. He's trying to fight for him.
yet the Salvadoran president, who posted these images, said that now Garcia has been confirmed healthy, he gets the honor of staying in El Salvador's custody. President Bukele and the Trump administration are still claiming that he is a member of the MS-13 gang, something Mr. Garcia's lawyers deny. And a U.S. appeals court judge issued a stinging rebuke of the White House yesterday, stating that the government is asserting a right to stash away residents of this country in foreign prisons without the semblance of due process that is the foundation of our constitutional order.
That's what it is.
This man is a very violent person.
He has to say that.
And they want this man to be brought back into our country where he can be free.
But the president doubled down today, alleging Mr. Garcia is a criminal and setting up the question, what happens if the Trump administration constantly ignores the courts?
We are in an ongoing constitutional crisis that is going to be ongoing for as long as Donald Trump is in office. And the Trump administration does not want Kilmar Garcia back here giving interviews. He has become a person who is borne witness to what I believe are fundamental crimes against democracy, due process, civil liberties, and human rights.
Right.
I was elected to get rid of those criminals, to get them out of our country. And I don't see how judges can take that authority away from a president.
And so while this is the story of one man still wrongly trapped in El Salvador, it is also a larger battle over the future of the republic
See what the flag said? It said no foreign persons.
under the second term of Donald Trump.
The white man, what the Bible speaks.
That's damn right.
That's all I can say, man.
And I seen a video where they got his rib crying on TV, saying like, you know, like, I'm gonna keep looking for you. You know, that she gonna keep trying to do what she can to bring him back, but doesn't look like that's what's gonna happen, man.
Right. They doubling down. They don't want to lose their money. That's really what it is. He don't want to lose his, you know. It's once again, sir, like I said, I wouldn't put my money on it. I would put my money on it that is really what it is there's a lot of brothers like Kilmar in there.
Right.
And they don't want that getting out.
And if I could, he has a lot to say against this brother's deportation. but they've been asking Trump about what about the deportation of his wife.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't answer that. But he has a lot to say against this brother's deportation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like
I said, that's a wake-up call, though, man. That's a wake-up call for all of us. You out there fooling around still, you know, gang banging, selling drugs, man. You better stop. Because that could be you right there. And the brother ain't even do nothing.
Right.
You know? So imagine those of us that are doing something.
Right.
We out there actually doing dirt and, you know, selling drugs, murder, whatever thing that you caught up in. That should be a wake-up call to get you to stop. You know?
I got a question for the audience, you know, and for anyone listening, right? Do you think that it is right what America's doing to Kilmar? You think Kilmar is innocent? You think Kilmar should be brought back? You know, that goes for everyone. Latinos for Trump, you know, you gringos listening, you Judites listening, you know, you FBAs, everyone. Please let me know what y'all think. Please let us know what you think in the comments, you know. If you want to come have the conversation, come join us, you know. But you know, that's the reality of it, is that they're really trying to send a message to people that oppose them, saying if you oppose us, we're gonna get rid of you. That's really what it is. The concert, that was, you know, so far as that, we can go to the next story. If you want to go to the next story. What we got next? We got the Placita Olvera.
We're going to that. Unless you got another article.
I did want to like touch on something.
If you want to keep touching on that too, keep touching on that. We stay on this topic.
Well, here's something that I want to show, right, as to prove, right, that that it might be, you know, what it is, you know, like innocent people are getting, you know, rounded up. Look at how many stories there are out there. I want to show how many incidents there are out there of you know, Latino men and women getting, you know, rounded up by ICE and deported. Right. They have no criminal history, no criminal record. You know, and ICE is coming and getting them and sending them to El Salvador. Here we go. 1 second. You know, anyone listen, let me also highlight the you know, the chat real quick. Let me highlight this right here. This is the link to our stream yard. Y'all want to hop in and let us know what you think. You know, let us know where you stand. Because I want to know what I really like to know what people think. You know, look at these incidents out here. Here's another example. Let's go to, you know, I'll take a bunch of them, man. There's like a bunch of stories right now out there, man. So many. There was a whole incident that happened, right? Look at this. Let me good night. There's just too many, man. Look at this one. Look at this story right here. It goes, Border Patrol said it targeted known criminals in Kern County, but it had no record on 77 of the 78 arrestees.
What county?
In Kern County.
Where's that? Northern California?
Yeah, here's the story. Hold on. And look at, here's this bastard right here. The story goes, welcome to... It was quiet on the border. A Border Patrol agent named James Lee was parked in the shade next to a 30-foot fence in Calexico. The windows of his SUV were rolled up, the engine making that noise when it's idle for a long time while the air conditioning is running. We haven't had any crossing in the last few days, Lee said. At the height of illegal border crossings in 2023, Border Patrol encountered 3.2 million people, but now the southern border is desolate. V is one of around 1,000 agents in the central sector, which has seen a 91% decrease in encounters compared to the same month last year. The decline in crossings that began during the Biden administration has accelerated in the first few months of the Trump administration. When we visited in late February, not a single person had been recorded trying to cross for more than half a week. Damn. The man in charge of the central sector, Gregory Bovino, once told congressional investigators, "I always found that idle hands do the devil's work." On January 7th, the day after Congress certified Trump's election victory, Bovino sent 65 of his agents into Kern County, 6 hours north of the border, to conduct a raid that has shaken immigrant communities and agricultural businesses across the state.
Okay, I get you.
And has set the stage for a legal battle over how the government carries out mass deportations.
So since they weren't finding nobody in the border, they went looking for people inside.
Right.
Oh,
they went up.
They went up.
They went up north. Border Patrol said it arrested 78 people in what it called Operation Return to Sender. Good night. But provided few details. Most of the official information about the raid came from Bovino's Facebook comments. He posted blurred photos of 3 Latino men alongside a photo of 33 pounds of marijuana in the trunk of a car. He wrote, "Here in the premier sector, we go the extra mile, or 500 of them, to protect our nation and communities from bad people and bad things." 2 things I want to say just here. On the day of the raids, Casey Kramer, CEO of California Citrus Mutual, an association of citrus growers around Bakersfield, heard that the Border Patrol was targeting criminal activity. He thought that might explain why the agents had come so far north. But the next day, he began to doubt the official narrative. It does not seem to be targeted criminal activity just based on what the growers are seeing and observing. So this is what I'm getting from this, sir. They got quotas.
Right.
That's really. It seems like they trying to maintain their quotas.
Right. They didn't find nobody in the border, so like, okay, let's go inside the city.
Right. Let's go up
the city, go find work.
Right. Kramer learned the agents detained people outside of a Home Depot and a convenience store frequented by farm workers in the morning on their way to the fields. They pulled over drivers on the roads running between farms.
Right.
I know for a fact they were stationed on growers' property, not public property, but actual growers' property, Kramer said. Bovino said that his agents had a predetermined list of targets. Predetermined. Many of whom had criminal records before they set off for Kern County. "We did our homework," he said. Yeah, I'm sure y'all did. But a Cal Matters investigation in partnership with Evident and Bellingcat found that Border Patrol officials misrepresented the very basics of their high-profile, large-scale immigration raid. Data obtained from the U.S. Customs and Border Protection revealed that Border Patrol had no prior knowledge of criminal or immigration history for 77 of the 78 people arrested. This is what it really sounds like to me, sir. They predetermined it because they were brown.
Right.
And a spreadsheet provided by the agency under criminal history, all but one entry contains the following passage. Criminal and/or immigration history was not known prior to the encounter. Bovino sat with Cal Matters in February to talk about the Kern County operation. A handful of our agents stood as audience for the entire hour. They stayed quiet, listening to their bosses tell a report what's what. Bovino stands out among the Border Patrol chiefs. The Central Sector's Facebook page features staged photos of him in uniform, including a close-up with an AR-15 and one on a white horse in the desert. cradling a shotgun. He has given his sector a brand, the premier sector. It's similar to the way states have mottos on license plates that aren't necessarily used by anybody else as described by the state. 20 sectors in the Border Patrol, and we do call ourselves the premier sector, he said with a smile. So please, let those other chiefs know what we know. We said that. The area of the border is remote, but Bovino's powers stretch far beyond the border. Our area goes up through Central California all the way to the Oregon border, he said.
I bet a lot of these Border Patrol agents too, like a lot of them are Hispanic.
Right.
You know, a lot of them are Mexicans or Salvadorans, Central Americans. You know, they got them doing all the dirty work, or they're the ones taking all the jobs, really.
Right.
Being Border Patrol agents. And of course, a lot of these brothers are like just like any other cop, you know, treat our people like garbage.
Right.
You know, them be the worst ones.
Constantly.
You know what I mean? But I was gonna say this too, though. Like for Latinos that are coming from Mexico and Central America, I get it. So a lot of them are leaving, like they're trying to run away from like the cartel, gang life, and things like that. That's why they come over here. You know, but you understand, like you coming over here and you're coming to what though? Like you're trying to escape. You're trying to escape getting killed, which is understandable.
Right.
But like when you come here, like you're coming here to what? Just work your behind off.
Right.
Like when you get here, you're gonna be working 14, 15-hour shifts. Your life is just gonna be about work. You know, so it's like you leave the cartel life or maybe poverty.
Right.
And then you come here just to be a slave. You get what I mean? Like I think a lot of people think from Mexico that they think like when you come here, you're gonna make all kinds of money.
Right.
You're gonna make all kinds of money, you're gonna get rich, and you know, you're gonna live the dream. And then you get here and you find out that's not what the case is.
Right.
You get here and you just find yourself stuck at a job and just working. You know, this right here is not life. You know what I'm saying? You just come in here just to, you know, like I said, just be a slave.
Sir, that's how you say that. Because it's what it is. Like it's the lie of the American dream, which is really a nightmare. Their American dream is our nightmare.
I think maybe back then though, like back then maybe like if you came here during the 80s or 90s, maybe you would have made a lot of money. You get me? But if you come here now, you ain't gonna make that money that you think you're gonna make.
Right.
You know, you barely gonna make by unless you're working 2-3 slaveries.
Right. Sir, like especially with the price of everything going up, it's like it's by design. It's all by design.
What else we got going on though? What else?
We got the raid on the Placita Olvera, which we're gonna talk about right now.
Okay. We're gonna talk about.
So like I said, since we were going to speak on the Placita Olvera, I sent them an article about the raid that happened. It should have the details on there. Well, like, you know, the same way that they're targeting, you know, so-called Hispanics, you know, they did that in the past.
Did a raid in Placita
Olvera.
Okay, so real quick,
we're gonna speak on it.
Real quick, Placita Olvera. Just give you a little more details, brothers. You guys, brothers, come out here. Placita Olvera is in downtown LA, right across from Union Station. It's like a little. When you see Placita Olvera, you would think that this is a Mexican spot. You know, they got they got vendors, right?
Not
even so much of vendors. They got little
artisans.
Shops.
We call it artisans.
Yeah, like shops, but it's like artisan shops.
Little shops where they're selling Dodger jerseys, which is crazy, right?
Yeah.
Dodger jerseys, Dodger hats, and you know, Mexican clothing. You know,
pottery.
Pottery.
That's what I'm saying. Artisans, pottery. Things that are made with leather by hand. Yeah,
So if you came down here,
souvenirs,
boots, things like that, and you would think about it like it's a authentic Mexican spot place. You know, you think like, damn, like this is like, you know, this is what it is. And then come to find out that this place that they built, Placita Olvera, was really built by a white woman,
Jewish woman.
I think she was Jewish. A white Jewish woman. They built it maybe the 1920s, 1910.
No, I think it's like 1800.
It's been around since the 1800s, but the Placita Vera that they built, the one that's standing there today, was from the 1920s, around 1920, 30, somewhere around there. And it was a Jewish white woman that built it, and they built it for like a tourism for other immigrants like Germans and Russians and things like that. So when they came to LA, they would see Placita Vera and they'd be like, okay, this is what Mexico used to look like. But that is not an authentic Mexican place.
Right.
You know, that's just some place that a white woman built to make money.
Right here.
You got it? Go ahead.
So it was built in 1877. The street was officially changed to Olvera. This was in honor of the country's first judge, who was Agustin Olvera. And he happened to also live on Olvera Street. In the history of Olvera Street, many revolutionary icons like Sun Yat-sen, who was known as a father of modern China, and anarchist Emma Goldman spoke. While the place was falling apart, Christine Sterling, I'm assuming that's the Jewish woman, a very wealthy young woman,
that's her,
and also a well-connected social life from Northern California. She came along and wanted something different for such an important part of Los Angeles. Christine was shocked to see how neglected such an important place was, so she chose to take action. Christine envisioned something more for this please. She wanted the place to be more of the Mexican marketplace and a cultural center that would be in Los Angeles, and it would also reflect the history this place holds. While Olvera Street and all of its buildings were scheduled to be demolished, Christine decided to step in. She began the campaign, and with help of investors and government agencies, including the Sheriff's Department of Los Angeles, she was able to prevent the whole area from being demolished. So she's a quote-unquote hero of Olvera Street.
Right. There's another article. That's not the one I'm looking for. There's another one where it kind of gives more detail on why she built it. Not so much of that, but like I said, that she built it to for like entertainment.
Concert.
When you came to LA, you want to see a Mexican place, Mexican restaurants and food and buildings, you would go to Olvera Street. You would have to find it though.
And if I could, sir, I recall just recently I went with my rib. We took her son. And like, you walk down in there's like a little hallway where you go, because I was looking for the bathroom. So, I went, and in that, in that little hallway, it turns into like little shops, barbershop and little things like that. But it has the history on the wall. And I recall I took pictures of it, right? Because I was going to do a class on it. What you're saying, you know what I mean? That the Placita Olvera is more for tourism.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they were trying to exploit us. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a true how do you say, like what they wanted to gain out of La Placita Vera was exploitation and make money off of us. You know what I mean? And I remember I took photos of it, but I think I deleted them.
That's like,
I can't find them. But
that's like what white people go down there. They put on their sombreros, and when
it's like Cinco de Mayo,
Cinco de Mayo,
Gringo, yeah, God.
Right.
Let's go get a Dodgers jersey. Let's go get a sombrero, and let's go get little beers. Let's go feel Mexican.
Yeah,
that's what that place is right there.
Yeah, man.
You get me? That's not authentic. That's not really Mexican. That's just some place where white people go where they can feel the vibe of little Mexico, whatever. Yeah. But that's not us. That's not from us.
That's not the culture.
It's not our culture.
Yeah.
You get me?
That's crazy. So I have this article right here that a Commodore sent me.
And if I could, sir, like that's the same thing that Bukele is trying to do. The reason why he's locking up all the gang members and all of that and trying to make El Salvador more safe is because he wants to bring tourists to El Salvador and make money off tourism.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Chinese and Indians, East Indians over there.
Yeah, sir. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same thing. Every heathen thinks about how to make money off of us while using us for that same labor.
Like they're about to make El Salvador like a Cancun.
Yeah.
A Cancun.
Yeah,
what's the other one?
Tulum.
Tulum.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah,
Where rich Chinese and Indians and white people go
You know,
on vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Salvador is a beautiful place, man. You know, I done heard about it. You got beaches, clean beaches.
Yeah.
You know, they got the trees, jungles, and you know, it's a beautiful land. And of course, like you got heathens, Chinese, Arabs, Indians going there and taking it over.
Yeah.
Because you got a Palestinian as the president.
Right, imagine that.
And if I could, sir, like one thing that I hate, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't know this, but I learned in TikTok, right, that in Mexico, there's a little China in Mexico.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They call it barrio chino, or you know, a Japanese. But I'm pretty sure in El Salvador,
right,
we're so kind that we give people of other ethnic you know, races, we give them their own place. But the thing is that in America, those same people are gonna hate us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We give them a place in our country. And in return, they hate us.
We take them in.
Yeah, we take them in. We take them in, but they show nothing but hatred, man.
We're too hospitable.
Exactly.
Like, we're too hospitable to other races, but we're not like that with each other.
Yeah, con, sir.
Like, of course, like we have beef, Mexicans and Salvadorians.
Yeah.
Like, we beef with each other. We don't like each other. We say things about each other.
Yeah.
But when it comes to heathens, we'll invite them and we'll take them in.
We'll take them in. Yeah. Con, sir.
And that's crazy. It's crazy we're like that because other nations will not be like that with us, man. They will not be like that with us.
And if they are, it's because they're trying to take advantage of us. Because we're hardworking and, you know, they're going to get something from us.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You know, it's time for us not to be so hospitable with Chinese and whites and Indians and Africans. We got to be hospitable with each other.
Right.
We got to look out for each other. Take care of one another. And then when it comes to them, be like, all right, you know, yeah, I ain't doing that no more. You know, I ain't gonna invite you to my home no more. You know, I ain't gonna invite you to my neighborhood no more.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna invite the brother next door, the Hispanic man, the Black and Native American Indian man, the Mexican man, Guatemalan.
Show love.
We show love to them, but you now we can't do that no more. But you know, like Salvadorans beefing with Guatemalans.
Yeah.
And people from Nicaragua. We are just beefing with each other.
Beefing with
like
each
it's
other,
a real strong beef that we have with each other. You know, all that gotta die out, especially at the times that we're in right now.
But if you didn't know, if you are so-called Central American, if you didn't know, if you're from Guatemala down in Panama, y'all are the same people, man.
Right.
According to the Bible, you're from the tribe of Zebulon. You know what I mean? There's no separation between a Nicaraguan, so like a Honduran, Salvadorian, Guatemalan. You know what I'm saying? There is no separation, man. Y'all the same people. It's just the oppressor has put y'all against each other.
Right. I'll tell you, let me add this too. It's funny, like I think for Issachar, like I think one thing that we're known for is just like, of course, like just beefing it with each other. Like, you know how we will say all the time how Mexicans, like people from Mexico, don't like people that are out here. The Mexicans are
yeah.
Like they call us pochos.
Yeah,
Like, even if you speak Spanish, they still look at you like,
they look different.
Like, your Spanish is not as good as ours. Like that, you different. And then in Mexico, like you correct me if I'm wrong. Like you got Mexicans from like Michoacan that don't like people from DF. Or people from DF don't like people from Tijuana. You know, like we just always find a way to divide each other. Be like, okay, we're different. We're, you know, we say things this way, we do things this way. We live like this, and y'all live a little different. Y'all more poor. Y'all more, you know, we're more rich or more, you know, we have more class, and you guys are like more like savage. There's always something we do to separate each other.
And if I could, sir, I remember I was having a conversation with a brother, right? And you know, you have brothers from Michoacan, you have brothers from Tijuana, and you know, wherever you have, what have you, right? In Mexico itself, you know. But I was telling the brother, man, look, according to the Bible, with Issachar, we're none of that. We're not Michoacan. We're not Tijuana. We're not like Zacatecas. We're none of that, man. We're not Mexican. Like, we Issachar. In the scripture says that we valiant men of might. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter what country, so like what city you from in Mexico. That's what you are, man. Just because you're from Michoacan does not make you better from the brother from the DF. It doesn't make you better than any brother, whatever city you from. You know, we are what the Bible says, man. Valiant men of might. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, sir. I gotta sit on that.
But I was gonna say this. You know, one of our biggest demons that we have is that separation.
Yeah.
Of like, you know, you from there and I'm from there. Or you talk like that and I talk like that. We're so quick to divide. And that's that's one of our biggest demons, you know. That's the reason why we can't get along with each other. Another demon that we have is not supporting each other.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of Mexicans, what they want to be is the best Mexican.
Yeah.
Right.
And when other Mexicans are coming up, they're like, nah, you can't come up. I gotta be the one shining in front of everybody else. That's a known thing, you know, that we don't do that. That we don't really support each other like that. You know, and that we gotta overcome that demon as well. You know, we're all in this together, man. We gotta look out for each other, take care of each other, and stop trying to be the one shining, you know. You know, fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta we'll show props, give love where, you know, give credit where it's due. You know, I know, and I'm speaking on that because I know, like in rap in Chicano rap. So like I'm gonna go off topic a little bit. In Chicano rap, it was like that. Kid Frost, when he was coming up, he didn't want to show love to any other Chicano rapper. He wanted to be the main Chicano rapper.
And if I could, sir, in the comedian world,
I was just gonna go there too.
You know what I'm saying? What's that nigga's name? George Lopez.
Yeah.
He didn't want to do stand-up lineups with Mexicans. He wanted to be the only one.
Right.
Because he feels, and even me coming up in my slavery, I remember coming up in my slavery as a young a young cat, right? You have brothers that have a routine and they're set to a certain area. And if you get put in an area, now they feel threatened. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'm not trying to take your spot. I'm just trying to learn this shit. You know what I mean? So I could work multiple areas. But that's the one thing with you saying, sir, that we don't allow other brothers and sisters to get a spot.
Right.
You know, we're territorial, but let a brother and a sister learn the game as well, man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like let's hold this territory together.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's the thing. We don't like your brother said, we don't support one another. We don't invest in one another. And this is what these other nations do. They support one another. They invest in one another. Right. But we've been taught, right? This oppressor has purposely taken away our identity and taught us the what's it called? The whole philosophy of being an individual. You know what I mean? Well, my happiness comes first. Well, as long as I'm good, you know, it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm not gonna get deported. I was born here.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not Mexican. I'm an American. You know, like that's the individualism. Trump ain't deporting my family. We're here legally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That type of mentality is a real plague on our raza, you know?
Yeah.
And that's something that we need to learn to unlearn. You know what I mean? So I said to learn, but we need to unlearn that because the other nations don't think like that. You'll never see a Chinese American complaining about the undocumented Chinese immigrants here.
Right.
You know what I mean? You'll never see a Palestinian American complain about the undocumented Palestinians. I've never seen it. You'll never see a Chinese for Trump. You know, after all the smack that Trump talked about China, you don't see the Chinese openly supporting Donald Trump.
They gonna be like, man, see, I came here legally, and you did it, and you coming over here, and you fucking it up for all of us.
Right.
That's what we say about each other.
Right. They don't think like that, but we think like that.
Yeah.
And I always, you know, that's one thing I always wonder when y'all say, "Oh, you making us look bad." Making us look bad to who?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Who do we gotta look good for? That's my question.
And you know, some devil don't put that in his head.
Yeah.
Right.
Some devil don't put that in our head. Like, you see, you know,
you're making people look bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Making us look bad, or they're making you look bad. You know, you came here legally, and they did it, and look what they're doing.
Yeah.
And they're putting that in your head, and now you're out there fighting. You know, you got the so-called illegal and legal that fight with each other.
Right.
And then you got the North and the South, Northern California, Southern California, that fight with each other.
Right.
And then you got Mexicans that are born here and born in Mexico that fight with each other.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Like, you can't see that. Like, we fighting over dumb
They're
shit.
putting against us, against each other.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're against each other and we're fighting over
dumb shit.
Dumb shit. Like, you know, we're fighting over dumb shit.
Sir.
And we got to put that dumb shit to the side. Like, hey, at the end of the day, we the same.
Right.
You know, like, your people come from Mexico. You're born in Mexico, but my mom's and pops is from Mexico too.
Yeah.
I was just born here.
Right.
You speak Spanish, I speak English. I don't know Spanish that well. You don't know English that well, but at the same time, we the same. We the same people. You from the north, I'm from the south. You know, we have plenty in common. The only thing that divides us is that you're from north and we're from the south.
Right.
That's about it. You know
And
what I
if I could, sir, like, don't let the oppressor come in and put a border and separate us, man. Because even before the oppressor was here, Mexico extended all the way to, North California and extended to Vegas and extended, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let the oppressor come in and now indoctrinate you to be like, oh, just because there's a border, there's a separation. There's no separation, man.
Right. If I could, did y'all want me to read more of this article real quick before we So this is
the raid?
The raid.
Okay, yeah. Let's do the raid.
So this is from the Zen Education Project. February 26, 1931, La Placita raid. The La Placita raid took place on February 26, 1931 in Los Angeles. This was during an era when perhaps as many as 1.8 million adults and children, immigrant and U.S.-born citizen and non-citizen, non-resident, and temporary workers became the targets of a massive campaign of forced relocation based solely on their perceived status as Mexican.
You know what I'm saying? And now you wonder, so like if I could, now you wonder why brothers don't want to, when they put the status, they don't want to put the status as Hispanic. They want to put the status as American because, they want to separate themselves from, being anything that has to do with Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why they call themselves Latinx. They call themselves Mexican American and, what have you, because there's like, what's the word? So like, when you call yourself Mexican
American,
no, just Mexican, right? It's like you're calling yourself illegal. You know what I'm saying? It's like you stand for being a nigga. In other words, right? Say what?
The rancho?
A wetback. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, it's like you say you're Mexican, you're from Mexico, like you're from
you're
not
like,
from America, you're from Mexico.
Yeah, so it's like they want to call themselves everything else but Mexican.
Right.
I'm Latinx, I'm Mexican American, this and that, because they want to separate themselves. Why? Because they are people pleasers. They want to please the most importantly, they want to please the damn oppressor and other nations. Oh, I'm not like them. No, you damn right like us, man. Because why? Because the oppressor looks at you. Man, you have that brother that was from Central America and they threw acid on him.
Right.
And they call him a wetback. Why? Because the oppressor, doesn't matter if you Central American, South American, the oppressor's going to look at you as a wetback, man.
He's going to look at you as his enemy, carnal. And if I could...
Go ahead, Malagma.
You know what it is, carnal? Raza's afraid.
Yeah,
they're really afraid of this oppressor, man, and it's understandable because you got years and years of trauma, years and years of abuse, those years of abuse, but it's just a lot like side note, but that's what it is, right?
Yeah,
and it's embedded in. You ever notice why your family's so scared of this oppressor? Why, before being in here, like if you notice when you ever a white person ever came around you, all of a sudden you tense up, and you got to make sure that you
start talking different.
Start talking on point. You got to say your Spanish surname in the English, like in the English version, sounding real proper, because that's what's been embedded in you since you were born. You know what I mean? That's what's been embedded in us since this oppressor has arrived since 1492. They've been beating. What was that term? Kill the Indian, save the man. They've been abusing our ancestors, harming them, manipulating them. What is it? What's that term? indoctrinating them to be afraid. That when you see El Gringo, you be afraid. You don't look at him, you don't talk to him because he's better than you, right? He's master, right? So what's crazy, is something that I learned, right? That's been circulating through the internet. I done heard content creators talk about this, right? It's the term mande.
Mande?
Yeah, you ever heard that?
No,
has your mom ever growing up? Did your mom ever?
Oh yeah, kind of, Mande, yeah.
Well, the history goes where that term comes from. It's from the Spaniards, and when the indigenous people were in slavery, right? And they would call them over. They tell the indigenous people, "Be mande." Like, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
So do you see the aspects of it put amongst our raza today? Like we still have that that slave mentality on us. Because it's been beaten into us.
Right. It's been forced by the sword.
You
know what I mean? But yeah, like I was saying, brothers are afraid to have any type of status that is traced back to being indigenous. I say indigenous because we come from whatever your father is. If your father is an indigenous, you are of the 12 tribes. If your father is a so-called Negro, which would be indigenous, you are of the 12 tribes. You know what I mean? A Native American. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your father is, and that's the one thing that you have Central Americans, you have Mexicans that want to say that they have this percentage of Spain, Spanish, and because why? Because they want to separate themselves from their people because they see how their people gets treated and they don't want to be treated the same. They are exactly what Malagma is saying. They're afraid of being treated how their people is being treated. But you know what? You being treated like your people's being treated is doing something for your people, man. And you're not going to stand for that. You know what I mean? You're going to change because the way they treat you is under serving their gods, keeping their high holy days. I mean, so their holidays. You know what I'm saying? What you have to do is that you're gonna have to separate, man. You have to separate from the holidays and keep the Lord's holy days. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to come to to our gatherings. You're gonna have to do everything that's separated. You know what I'm saying? Don't separate yourself from your people. If anything, run to your people, man, and love them. You have to forsake and run away, especially from the Christian church that abuses children and women.
I'll tell you this, man. This is like the best time to be a Mexican. You should not be afraid to be Mexican right now. It's the best time to be Mexican. Like one thing I love doing, I like rocking my braid. After slavery, I got my braid on. I got my shields on. Like, come on, man. Like, you can't be scared. You can't hide being who you are. You gotta embrace that. And then let them look at you a certain way. Like what the fuck? Right. But yeah, you can't be scared, man. You gotta be in it. You can't, what you gonna not speak Spanish in front of white people? Right. Like you talking all the Spanish and when you're around white folks, you don't talk Spanish no more, right? Or you don't talk the way you want to talk no more because you got white folks around. Come on, man.
Right. Well, what did he say? What else did he say? Oh, I live in Los Angeles, not Los Angeles. Can't say Los Angeles around white people.
And so, I don't know if you've seen this, but this was been going around in Target. It was a receiver. It was a woman, and it's a brother.
Oh yeah.
You saw that, Malagma?
I saw that.
And then she's like, he's calling her name in Spanish, Sara. And then she's like, my name is not Sarah, my name is Sarah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, it don't matter if you say Sarah or Sarah, it's still the European language. If you don't know, Spanish is a European language. Portuguese, French, all those languages is still European language. They're cousins to each other, man. Don't be ignorant and fall for that, man. The Spanish oppressor hates that we speak Spanish, and it was forced unto us by the sword, right? And they speak a Castellano Spanish. Like, they hate that we speak Spanish. You know what I'm saying? But we get told, oh, this is America. Don't speak Spanish. But like, man, this is your cousin's language. It was forced upon me, but because we don't know that, You know what I'm saying? And that's why we have the La Swan Cordash, which it's held every Friday, right? Depending in every zone from 7 to 9, right? We have the La Swan Cordash, which is our ethnic language. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It's the original. It's the ancient Hebrew, right? And that's our language. If you're not gonna fight for that, and then just to let you know, look, Nahuatl, Pipi, Quiche, all those indigenous languages are a dialect of the Hebrew.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like Mexico is Mashiach. We were calling us, and you have the oppressor wrote this down in a book, how we were calling ourselves Mashiach, which means anointed for the Mexicans. And then the Central Americans, the Mayas, where Maya means water. And in the Hebrew is Mayan, which means water, is the same thing. Why? Because our language is Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? When Columbus came to the Americas, he came with a translator that spoke Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? In the Jewish encyclopedia, when you read Ashereth, it tells you that the Americas, the 10 tribes went to America to keep the Lord's. So like the 10 tribes, and this is in the book of Ezra. And this is in the book of Ezra. And Columbus used the Apocrypha to find the 10 lost tribes, and he went to a land that was called Ashereth, and he said, and it says that when you read it, it says America is identified with this land. So what does that let you know? That lets you know that Americas, the people in Canada, the people in the Americas, the people in Mexico, Central and South America are the 10 lost tribes. And this is before 1492, what Malagma said. This is before the oppressor came into the Americas. And that lets you know that those are so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. And we are those people, man. Don't be afraid to say that you are a so-called Hispanic. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid of that, man. But, you know, we're so-called. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a Mexican, you're a Issacharite. Right. If you're a Central American, you're a Zebulonite. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so like I said, if you want to say something,
no, you too wild, man. You too wild. I'm gonna say this though, like meeting the truth, like you know you wear your shields at work, or you got maybe like a t-shirt and you have the shield on the side, and they'll be like, "So you're a Jew?" And they'll be like, "Yeah, I'm Israelite."
Fucking right.
Israelite. Right? Aren't you Mexican though? Oh, I'm a so-called Mexican. So you're a Mexican Jew? Yeah, I'm a Mexican Jew. And then look on their face and be like, a Mexican Jew. And so that I gotta explain it, but like I'm at the slavery, so I don't go into like a whole breakdown of what it is. But I'm a Mexican Jew. That's what I am. And the confusion, I done got that a couple times. But yeah, that's what we are, man. You a Mexican, you the real Jew. You an Israelite. You from the 12 tribes of Israel. You're Issacharite. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's more than just embracing being Hispanic, Mexican, man. You Issachar.
Yeah,
you know, you from that bloodline from the 12 tribes, man. Going back to it, like, you know, like that's what we was talking about, how we was talking about the Passover. And Mexicans have to realize who they really are. You know, that's why it's so important for us to teach class, you know, be on the streets. And man, eventually go to Mexico, man. That's what we got to do. We got to be out there. I ain't really gonna be able to do much. I don't speak Spanish, but you know, maybe I might be able to read a little bit or something. You know, but brothers, we gonna have to hit Mexico, man. Go teach out there, you know, and fish some brothers out there.
Damn right.
Because we gonna have to bring them in. Bring the brothers. Some brother gotta come from Michoacan or Tijuana or Sinaloa. You know, it's gonna be when we get a brother from Sinaloa or Michoacan, that's gonna be they were like, damn, like okay, we got a brother out there, you know. Of course, Yashkor gonna take care of it. That's his zone. But imagine we start getting more and more brothers from different pieces of Mexico, you know, and then Central America. Right. And we're gonna have to be out there and fish them brothers in. Then they're going to have to be a Passover out there, or they're going to come out here, you know, either or. Either they're going to come out here, or maybe they might have a Passover out there. But that's what we got to do. We got to reach out there, you know, and fish them brothers in.
And if I could, sir, I want to say the water to Captain Katazar, man, and the other brothers who came up with the archaeology. You know what I'm saying? Like we have archaeology where you could find the shield. You could find the shield of David in Mexico. It's not a coincidence that it's in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? It's because why? Because and you have statues of priests that have the shield on their neck
with a garment.
With a garment. That's what I was gonna say. And you have with the garment and the fringes. You know what I'm saying? It's not a coincidence, man. Like that we kept our traditions. So like I would say our heritage. That's what the Bible says. We kept our culture. You know what I'm saying? But of course, you know, we come from
the east. We come
Egypt,
from the east. Like
so like I was gonna say, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
No. So I was gonna say that we come from the east. You know, a lot of our people think that we're native. You know, we were the first ones here, but we're not from here. You know what I'm saying? We come from the east. We come from Israel. It's like,
and that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that okay, we come from the east, and we were a people that served servitude. We served bondage in Egypt, and we brought their gods. You know what I'm saying? And you should tune in to an old class that Officer Kazakia did, man, where he teaches you how the Cholo Esquinkle, which is the dog, the Mexican dog, right? With Anubis, you know what I'm saying? It tells you like he's the dog of the underworld, and that's the same thing that the Egyptians had. But the pyramids and all of that, you know what I'm saying? We came out here in Asareth to keep the laws of God. But then you know, like we went astray like we always do. You know what I'm saying? The brothers and sisters went astray, and they started to serve other gods, the gods of the wind, the sun god, and this what have you, and the Lord destroyed that empire. You know what I'm saying? And the Lord's not with that. That's why he allowed the oppressor to come over. That was prophesied in the book of Genesis, so like Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is the book. If you have not copped any of the books of Captain Katazar, you should. This is the book that he just dropped, A Tribe Called Gad. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Malakma.
Right on the screen. Right on the screen, man. Tribe Called Gad just came out, man. Get in touch with Captain Katazar. There's a lot of heavy information.
And one thing I learned, if I could, you're right, that with Captain Katazar's class, man, you should watch the 12 tribe lecture.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let you know how Gad took up to be the priest, like the Levites, and that's why you know the fringes, the outfits, the you know the anointing, like you know that's where it comes from, man. But just you know because Gad, who are the so like the Native Americans, those are our people as well, man. And you have brothers, you know, that come against us. They don't want to see us at the powwows and all of that, man. When we go to the powwows, is to support our brothers, man, and to let them know, to show love. Like Malakma, tell them a little bit of the experience, man, that brothers be making fake profiles and all of that.
Yeah, man, we got so many haters out there, man. People really want to stop our work, but y'all won't succeed. Y'all can make all the fake profiles y'all want about us. You fake Israelites can go to the powwows and go to whatever Garcia event there is and have your camps out there and blaze. This is one thing I want to let people know out there, right? We're going to show up to your powwows and let you know we're not affiliated with any other group.
Right.
Man. We go out there to show love, man. That's what we do when we go out to the powwows, to the Garcia events, to the protests. We go interview Garcia to get Garcia's voice out there, to get your, you know, to get your take on what's going on, to see what's going on. That's what we do. We go in the spirit of brotherhood and sisterhood. I can't account for what other groups do out there, and I understand the frustration, but I just want to let people know we are not affiliated with any other group. So when you see some weirdos in purple, you know, disrespecting y'all and doing whatever, that's not us.
Right. And we're not about indigenous erasure either, right, Malakma?
Right, exactly that too. We are not like, and I wonder where that term came from, Commandant. How in the hell is calling you an Israelite erasure of your indigenous culture? You know, it's like you're saying calling you Native American is an erasure of your indigenous culture. We're just telling you who you are in the Bible. You know what I mean? And what the Bible says. And the Bible says that you're God's chosen people. So-called blacks, so-called Hispanics, you're God's chosen people. And the proof is in how much you shine in this hell.
Right.
And in all this darkness, y'all are the light, man. Have the most beautiful women. Have the estilo that the whole world wants to rock.
Karma's
the
on point.
Garments on point, man. Especially, you know what I'm saying? You know, our styles, our music, our, you know, everything, man. We give it flavor, man. And that's all we're saying, is that you're God's chosen people, and to learn to love, you know, like, if you want this to end, just look at the brother and sister next to you and love them, man. Stop hating on them. Stop turning it. That's all we're saying, man. We're not here to, you know, harm, you know, like, the ICPK has been around since 1969, and not once has any indigenous tribe ever been erased because of the truth that the UPK brings out.
Right. Yeah, man. Shout out to Kamikaze. Shout out to all the Gadites in the school. You know, Camp Soccer War.
Tabawan.
Yeah, Tabawan.
Shalama.
You know.
Camp Soccer. You said Camp Soccer. Shout out Camp Soccer War. Chief Sock G. What they call him? Chief Sock G. You know, but we're gonna continue doing this work, man. So, you know,
so like you said, last one, Zachariah. I can't say, brother from Texas. I know he'll get that too. He's a graduate Hebrew Academy. So like, shout out. You know what I mean? What else we got on?
Real quick, I just want, you know, I had this video real quick to play. This is the Sarah lady.
And this happened.
Can you come to the back of receiving to help me out with a uncompliant vendor?
Uncompliant? Why is he uncompliant?
Es discriminación. Es discriminación. Es discriminación. Yo no hablo mucho inglés. Yo no hablo inglés. You're a liar. Yo no hablo inglés. You just spoke English. You said open the door. Sí, pero eso es lo básico. Sí habla inglés. No. Es mentiroso. No, mentiroso.
You speak perfect Spanish like this.
Discriminación. Discriminación. ¿Cómo es Sara se llama? Sara. Y no me deja salir. No me deja salir. No me deja salir. Me está discriminando. Yo no sé por qué me discrimina. Yo no sé por qué me discrimina. No entiendo.
Apparently he lost his job after this.
¿Qué es el nombre de tu compañía? ¿Me deja salir, por favor? ¿Qué es el nombre de tu compañía?
That's false imprisonment.
Dame la información that I'm asking you to give me.
Won't let him leave.
Give me the name of the number. Ya dejé la orden ahí, no me deja ir la señora. Se llama Sara.
Why should I become the victim?
My name is Sarah. My name is Sarah. My mom was born in Colorado. Qué bien lo que. If I don't speak Spanish perfectly, you have a problem.
When did he say that? When did that happen?
I can't speak English fluently.
That's your fragility.
I was born in Mexico. My dad was born in Mexico. My mom.
He's just trying to leave.
Mexico. Why are you mad that I can't speak Spanish perfectly?
Wow.
What's your problem?
The person that recorded the video said that he lost his job over this. Let's be clear about something. You can't just hold somebody and not let them leave the way that she did. He's not posing a danger to her. Sure, she can be annoyed that he's not saying the name right. Pero el berrinche que hizo al final with the whole my parents were born here, I think it says that this is much more about her and her fragility than about the man recording. Pero familia, let me know, what do you all think about this? As if I needed more reasons.
I'll tell you this, man, like you know how like there's Uncle Tom's and like with Judites.
Yeah.
Like man, there's so many Tomases in the tribe of Issachar.
Right.
And it'd be funny too. Sometimes it'd be like the most Mexican looking.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
the nopal in the forehead.
No, like the dark and you know. He just look like you know like it's like a so-called Indian. And he'll be like, go back to your country. Go back to Mexico.
My mom was born in Colorado.
That one guy, he's like, go back to Mexico, fool.
They don't like it. Go back. Go back.
You don't like it. Go back. Why you here?
The fool that said the taco truck on every street corner, man.
Oh, right.
Good night, man. Like that's our problem, man. Like you know this. I'm gonna say this. That's the reason why people like Kilmar, Abrego, Garcia can get deported to El Salvador, and they don't have to worry about repercussions because you have people that side with the oppressor. Right. You got Mexicans and Salvadoreños that will agree with what America did.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But let it been another nation, man. You know there would have been an uproar and anger about it, man.
I bet if it was a Chinese barrier, between her and the Chinese or any other, she'll be kind.
Yeah, she'll be.
You know what I'm saying? But you know, it be your own niggas.
Yeah,
don't be ignorant to Spanish and English. It doesn't matter, man. We have one common enemy,
right?
And that is the oppressor. He don't care if you speak perfect English. He don't care if your family is born in Colorado in the U.S. Man, he still looks at you as a wetback.
Right.
I'll tell you this though. So I done met my Spanish is not good at all, and I done work like in a couple of restaurants. And it's correct. You only speak Spanish, a little bit of English, just a lick of it. I know a lick of Spanish too, and a lot of them Israelites be trying to help you out, trying to show you the ins and outs too. Sometimes,
oh yeah,
and the random cats like that, cats from Puebla and Michoacan, and they're hella cool too, cool, hella humble. Trying to get her to know you and shit, buying you things, trying to get you coffee,
right?
And then show you how to get things done right, how to use the knife, how to prep, all that. And I'm like, damn, like, bro, you doing a lot, and I appreciate it too.
Yeah.
Like how much you're showing me. You do run into that as well. Like you have, of course, you have the bad and the good. You have the Uncle Toms, but the ones that are cool, god damn, like they're just like
show love,
going extra, showing you love, and like and always cracking jokes and talking shit.
Yeah.
I remember I used to work with a butcher, and he's like, man, this is nothing right here. Like, like give me all this meat out, like nigga just cutting everything, making it look fun.
Yeah.
And if I do it though, it's like, damn, like how do you use this shit? Like, how you doing this? And this cat over here just knocking it down like it's cookies. But you run into Israelites like that, man, and the Israelites be the most humblest people sometimes.
Okay.
'Cause I know they're where they out there in Mexico would be a little more rough. So when they get out here, it's like they're they're not in what do you call it? Let me say this right way.
Not in the truth.
No, not in the truth. It's more of like, I guess they look at this as a better place.
Yeah,
it's better over here. They don't got to worry about living in a rancho, I guess. Living poor over here. They got their house, they got their kids. They got a better life over here. I guess that's the way some of them look at it.
The problem
go ahead, man.
I would say real quick that you think just because Massa gives you some crumbs, you think you good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And that'd be the problem sometimes.
That's what I was gonna say, sir. I was gonna say because Massa gives you a little bit of extra crumbs that you could send back home. You know what I'm saying? You think that you are in the kingdom,
right?
They look at America like, oh man, I got like this much, and I could send 200 over there, and they're able to buy this and that. You know what I'm saying? And you think that because America, what they call it, Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Syndrome. But now what I'm saying is that some of them don't have Stockholm syndrome.
Okay.
None of them brothers ain't got Stockholm syndrome. Some of them are saying fuck white people too.
Okay.
I
hardly hear that.
I've heard that before. Like a lot of brothers, even though they come here and they're slaving,
they're
still embracing. They'll tell me soy mexicano, soy de Michoacán.
Okay, I hear that.
And they'll tell me the little town that they're from.
Yeah.
Right.
And and they're not hiding who they are. Like I ran into cats like that. That's what I'm saying. I ran into cats like that, and they embrace being, Mexican. They're not folding to being American, saying fuck Donald Trump. They're like, I'm just here to, work. I'm here to make, I'm trying to feed my family. That's why I'm here. And some of them even go as far as saying, like, if I'm not here, who the fuck you gonna put here? But if I'm not here, like, you gonna put him here, he gonna do what the fuck I'm doing.
That's what I'm saying, sir. That is, so like I said, if I could, that is Stockholm syndrome. But because the oppressor gives them, makes them work extra, and they feel they're like, man, he's helping me out by giving me extra hours. Like, no, that nigga is
right.
What the guy that's usury?
Okay,
usury.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, oh no, he's helping me out. But it's like, no, that nigga's only paying you the minimum wage. Well, you should really be getting paid more. You know what I'm saying? So kind of, but so like I said, I don't, I'm just saying that because I remember at my slavery, I had a sister that works maintenance, and I'm telling her, I'm like, man, they got you working fucking hard. So like, and this is and that, and making bales and doing compost and all this shit. And she's like, well, as long as they gave me this and that, and in my mind, I'm like, damn, like that's hard ass work But to you, as long as they give you that, to you that's love.
Right.
That's hard love. But we go ahead, sir. So like,
let me say this. So the situation I'm hearing, was this cat had it his way.
Okay.
He ain't gotta do extra work.
Yeah, I hear
he
you.
in there 5 hours.
Solo.
Easy.
Yeah, I hear you.
Doing his own
like
thing.
Yeah.
And the reason why he has it his way because he's just a fucking good ass worker.
Yeah.
So they're giving him the days off that he wants and the hours that he wants because they know if they give it to somebody else, they're not gonna get the work,
the reliable,
the reliability, and we call it the quality of the work.
Yeah.
Because the brother just do his job so good, so they know they need him. They put me in there, they're gonna get some fucked up meat.
They're gonna get whatever you give them.
Whatever I give him. But this brother right here, he know how to do his shit. And so because he knows how to do his shit, they give him they work with the schedule and they give the hours that he wants.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if they lose him, they'll get some shitty work. And that's a lot of issue price. But I get what you're saying though, too.
Yeah.
So they think, because they're giving me my 10 hours and 12 hours. Those 12 hours are a blessing.
Man. Yeah.
They're giving me 7 days to work. 7 days is a blessing. You're like, that's not a blessing.
Yeah, but what you're doing is hard work. What they're doing is a hard work. Like, you know what I mean? And everybody knows this. You know what I'm saying? And even General Muhammad brought this out. That Jeff Bezos, right? Jeff Bezos says that he reminds his employees to wake up in fear. You know what I'm saying? Meaning this that if they don't get that package delivered on time, you're gonna have an unsatisfied customer. Right. And he has other companies, right? So if they don't merchandise the product while that customer is there and that customer can't find that product, he's going to go home unhappy. Right. And now you're going to have to think about being replaced. And that's one thing that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we do everything for the oppressor because we are afraid of being replaced, sir.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In my slavery, I hear a lot of brothers and sisters, like, they complain about what they're doing because it's hard. Right. But they're like, man, but I got, they don't take their breaks. That's bondage, sir. Right. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. But they're like, but as long as I get my hours, like I didn't take my break, but as long as I get my hours, like that's bondage. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, they miss their breaks, but they do it because they are afraid of being replaced. And that's the one thing that the oppressor, he's looking to replace us for minimum.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So like if now you don't climb up the ladder and you're making this much now, but it's like, hold on, you're not performing at the time frame that I need you to perform because everything's about metrics now at this damn oppressor's slavery. You got to have some type of metrics where if you're not performing on according to those metrics, somebody else is going to replace you for the least amount of money. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy, sir. Like we have to work fast and you know what I'm saying, niggas get hurt working fast like fast. But it's like I said,
no, that's facts. That's facts. I work at a warehouse.
Gone.
So like if I could, I got a precept real quick.
Go ahead, Malam.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression make up a wise man and a gift destroyeth the heart. And that's what happens. You think them extra hours is a gift. You think them crumbs is a gift. You think, because they pretend to be nice to you and compliment you on how well you speak English, that now it's all good. That's the gift. You know what I mean? That destroys the heart, that destroys your mind. You think equality exists. You think you're equal with this oppressor and that racism is over.
Hey, forget about when they make you a manager.
Right. Oh, let them make
they make a crime manager, then he start treating everybody like shit. I've seen that. I've seen that too.
You got to make your quota. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now they put the pressure on you. You know what I mean? That's why I always say, man, like you being an Israelite, you should stay away from them type of positions, just because I'm sure every manager or supervisor goes in there saying, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna be different, I'm gonna act this way, but then the pressure from up top comes. And when you're not meeting the quotas and the goals for that week or month, then they start coming down on you. then you have to turn into a tyrant on your workers, you know?
Like
you become, you become the very thing that you hated when you were, when you had, you become that same supervisor that you hated. You know what I mean? Because that's what these jobs do. These jobs are modern day slaves. Slavery never left America. Like Captain Katazar said, it just became more sophisticated.
I'm gonna say, man, like you just a manager at a restaurant. You know, restaurant, warehouse, construction, man. That don't like you shouldn't be a manager and then start treating people like shit just because you got a little position. You know what I mean? Like what you were saying, like you came in the same way. Like once upon a time, you were just a regular worker. Now you to get your little position. Now you over there cutting people's days.
Yeah,
right. And that's what they'll do. They'll cut your days. You don't get you up. So write you up, give you 3 or 4 write-ups, and then cut your days. Like, come on, man, you ain't gotta act like that.
Right.
So like niggas is petty. Like you call out because you really have to attend to your children. Yeah. And the niggas call out. And I seen this happen with the heathen, right? The heathen will be the team leader, and then you call out because you have to miss because you have to attend to your children, and then he'll change your days up or like he'll have you closing and working some awful ass hours just because he's being petty. You know what I'm saying, sir? But I was gonna say, Most High in Christ for brothers who are not in the truth but understand like what you were saying earlier. They walk in your shoes and they understand that we have problems. Right. If somebody calls out, be like, man, so we're gonna get through it, man. Nobody can understand what you're going through except for your own kind. The damn heathen, you gonna call out and you be like, oh man, I never called out, but he calls out himself. He's a damn hypocrite, man. And then he's gonna go to the higher ups and tell them all the bad stuff about you. You know what I'm saying? While he's doing the same thing. But this is the thing: you have brothers and sisters that go through what you're going through, man. And even though they don't know the truth of God, they still will hold you up, man. They still like and that's some brotherhood, but they should be in here. They should be in here and learn how to benefit your people, man. You know what I'm saying? Have your best interest in mind for your people, man, because the heathen does not have that in mind for you.
Right. So there it is. There's no future in it. No future in this American nightmare. They just use you till they can't use you no more. That's it, man. But with that, man, I don't know. Is there anything else brothers want to get in?
That's it for me, man. That's it, man. Go ahead. Let me finish it out.
I just want to say this real quick. To let us know what y'all think in the comments. If y'all come and watch this live stream later, Also, man, if you disagree or agree with us, let us know that too. And if you think, whatever questions y'all got, comments, go ahead, put them in the chat. Whether you think we Israelites, whether you think this is wrong or this is right, let us know what you think. And, and the next time, man, we do this live, y'all can hop on, ask your questions. We'll answer them. We'll have the conversation. Let's have these conversations, man.
Right.
And connect, and build this brotherhood and sisterhood up, man. Connect with the raza. And build our people up, man. Get this message down. With that, man, you see that.
So, like, if I could, also, if you have any topics that you want us to go into, let us know. Let us know any topics, any future events, anything that you want us to go into. You know what I mean? We'll go into it. Go ahead, Malama.
No, go ahead. So, go ahead, finish which one say, and then I'll just.
You know what I'm saying? So, we'll go into that as well, man. If there's anything that you feel that we haven't touched on or you want us to go into, we'll do that as well.
Go ahead. I just see something real quick. We've been out here for 2 hours. Now y'all want to come on.
All of a sudden.
And solo ojo, I see you put a little laughing emoji. Is there something you want to say?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I mean, I just like
there's a link on there, right, Malama? He can still come on.
You come on.
Click the link, man.
You want to say el solo ojo?
You put a laughing emoji.
Yeah, you put a laughing emoji.
We address every and any question, man.
I just
Malama want to fight somebody.
But if I could, man, look, we address
emoji. What?
We address any and every question, man. We don't run from it. We don't run from anything, man. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to bring up any concerns or anything that you feel that we left out, you know what I mean, ask it right now before we end the live, and we will for sure address it.
So come on, Solo Ojo, come on, you got something to say?
Give him like a minute or two. See if he has the cojones. Gird up your loins, man. That's what the Bible says.
Yeah, come on, man. What's up? No, he probably left already.
No
I'm gonna give
sweat.
you like a minute. You don't say nothing in a minute, then we're gonna end it, man. Y'all want to battle? Y'all want?
Hey, and I do want to say this, man. Look, we have the closing of the feast.
We got someone by the name of JJ Elliott. Hold up, JJ Elliott, put a shirt on, man. I'm not gonna bring out the light. You out there?
Yeah, put a shirt on, man.
Put a shirt on. Come on, and then you can bring your
Give us
questions.
some time, but if I could, I do want to remind brothers and sisters, man, we have the closing of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is going to be held. We out here in Southern California. Is going to be held in San Bernardino, 246 East Highland, right in San Bernardino, man. And get in contact with your camp leader. Get in contact with your zone so you can attend. Of course, children are welcome, man. Come and unite, because black and brown unite or die, man.
Right. All right, Jay Elliott, is something you want to say?
I got a lot of books, buddy. A lot of books, man. And I read these bitches.
Okay.
What's your argument?
What's yours? Did you have a question or comment?
I don't like fake people shouting Allah and inshallah and all that type of thing. You can't do that no more. No. This is the real deal.
What's your question or comment?
Yeah. Did you have a question?
What do you guys believe in? What do you believe in?
So we believe in that blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians are God's chosen people according to the Bible.
All right, fair enough. That's straight.
Okay. So you agree?
I mean, I believe in God, man. That's the only thing I can really rock with. You know, that's the only thing I've seen proof.
What's your nationality?
I'm black and white. I'm mixed.
Your father black or is he white?
My father was white. My mother was black. Yeah.
Okay.
It goes out of here though.
So then this wouldn't be for you. Since your father is a white man, this ain't for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Your father will be.
Who's your father, bro? Look at you.
Your father will be a Caucasian, which would be a devil, according to the Bible.
Okay, well, who is your father, bro? Answer that question.
So my father will be a so-called Mexican, which would be a Ishcrack. Would be an Ishcrack according to the Bible.
Mexican nigga? What the fuck?
Will be God's chosen people according to the Bible.
My grandfather's from Spain, bro.
You're Spaniard?
So
my grandfather was from South America, but he came from Spain. Yes.
So he's a Spaniard. We're gonna go with based on what you said.
White girl, yeah, and he had my dad.
So he's Spaniard. So your father's a Spaniard. So your father is a devil. He's an enemy. You know what I'm saying? So according to the Bible,
how is my father a devil and yours is?
According to the Bible, like you're a devil. So that means that you'll be going to slavery.
I will be a devil then, Golly. You got it, brother. You got it, man. What's your argument, bro?
I ain't your brother.
According to the devil,
I ain't your brother. You know what I'm saying? You were enemies. So according to the Bible, you and your people will be going to slavery. They're going to captivity. There'll be a time where your people will be spotted. They're gonna
didn't know that.
Actually.
Thank you for the news flash, buddy.
Hey, you called in, so I'm telling you the truth. This is the home of the truth right here. So this is what I'm doing. I'm telling you.
All right, where you live at, buddy? Let's see. Come see me where I'm at, and we can talk about that in person then.
Yeah, we on Hollywood Boulevard, man. We do street speak.
I know you will, and I'm out here every day, bro.
We're there in the Highland, man. Catch us on Saturday. We're out there speaking, teaching. That's what we do. Do it all the time. You're gonna be the first one.
Hold on. You said my father is a devil, though, bro.
Yeah. Is your father white? Crazy, if your father is a white man, he's the devil. Hey, listen, man. Hey, look, listen though. Listen.
Wait, what?
Listen, don't
Hold on, bro.
personal though.
I came out of a black woman, bro.
But your father is
I came
white.
out of a black woman, nigga.
So where does the seed come from?
She could have made a baby
No,
on
no.
accident with a couple condoms and shit like that.
Where does the seed come from?
Bro, what is your argument, man? That's the most bogus shit I ever heard. I actually laughed on
It's just look, listen, man. Where does the seed come from?
So like,
Who carries the seed?
I got you. Hold on. Where's the seed come from? God, Allah. It comes from Allah.
Listen, the seed come from your father. That's where the seed come from. So you come from your
That's
father.
a lie, because according to the Bible, it's your mom. It's
So
not
like,
your dad.
So you ready? You ready? I'm about to give you the scripture right now.
Go ahead.
according to the Bible, this is the book of Numbers, chapter 1, verse 18.
Give a fuck about that. I got
And we're dealing with the Bible. And they assemble all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declare their pedigrees after the families by the house of their fathers.
Oh, the what?
Their fathers.
Oh, they're what?
Fathers.
And what is your father? What's your name, man? What's your name? What's your name?
Gordon, what chapter, bro?
Numbers
Read
1
it.
and 18.
Say it again.
Numbers 1 and 18.
That's the scripture right there. Numbers 1 and 18.
It's right there on the screen.
It's on the screen too.
The white man lied to you. It's not by your mother, it's by your father.
Hey, look, I'll give you some advice, man. Listen, I'll give you some advice. You should enjoy your life right now, man. Whatever it is that you're doing, enjoy your life.
Get strong, right, sir?
Get strong, work out, man. You know what I mean? Get your back right. You know, be in that gym. Because they're going to be working the fields. You're going to be working the fields. You're going to be picking them strawberries. You know, you're going to be working about 20 hours.
Picking cotton.
Read the Bible yourself, bro.
Say it again.
I read the Bible, man.
Hey, man, listen, it's not me, man. Take it up with God. He's like, man. I have to make this up.
How about you catch me, bro?
God.
If my dad is the devil, come catch me, nigga, because the devil is hard to get, you know?
It's like what the scripture say, they have surely inherited lies.
Right. Hey, man.
I'll be the devil, bro. Fuck that. All right, fine. I'll be the devil, nigga.
Hey, man, don't be emotional either, man. Don't be mad at me. You
just live your
in,
life.
And I'm giving you the truth.
All right, go to Disneyland. Enjoy your life.
Enjoy your life, man. You know what I'm saying?
Man, enjoy America. Enjoy this.
You believe in Donald Trump? You love Donald Trump?
I don't know nothing about Donald Trump.
No? Okay.
He's a good he's a perfect
That's
leader.
your leader
for you.
right there. You should follow him.
Love him.
Love Donald Trump. Go follow him, man.
Yeah.
That's all I can do for you. Anything else? What else you got to say?
I'm still offended, but I'll get over that shit.
Well, I don't care. Yeah, get over it, man. Go. You smoke weed?
No.
You don't smoke weed? Okay.
Hell nah.
Oh man. Well, hey, listen. There's nothing much I can do for you. You got any other questions?
Cover that shirt up.
You got a shirt? You got a shirt on?
He's opening his shirt. Cover the shirt up, my man.
Bro, I'm allowed to have a shirt like this, man. Like, why are you guys trying to run it? It's the internet, man.
That's sodomy, man.
Did you have
to see me in person?
Did you have any other questions or comments?
Well, I get frustrated with people on the internet that think they could talk to me any type of way. Son. You can't, bro. Because in person, you talk to me like that, you wouldn't even approach me.
Jay Elliott, the way we're talking to you right now in person, if you came up to the camp, we're gonna talk to you the same way. The only thing we're telling you is
we'll see how that goes.
The same.
Whether you like it, understand it, or not.
Who do you work for? All you sell Spanish, man. All you
We
guys
work for the Most High in Christ. We work for the Most High in Christ. That's what we work for.
If I could I just something?
That's cool. I respect that. I'm not disrespecting nobody, bro. But don't come over here calling my dad the devil, bro. That's fucking crazy.
That's facts.
Hey,
that's what the Bible says.
Hold on. So, what do you think Christ feels about you, though?
Dude, I don't talk about that type of shit, bro.
You don't talk about that, man. But you called into the show, so we're gonna tell you what it is, though.
I know, but then there's secrets. I can't.
You know that Christ is gonna put you in slavery.
I don't. All right. Is he?
You know, Christ gonna put you in captivity.
Really?
Yeah. You want
When?
to hear
You got a
the
date? You got a
scripture?
time?
Do you want to hear the scripture?
I just want a date and a time. That's really it.
Well, no man know when Christ gonna return. But when he does return, people are gonna pay. The people that put his people into slavery, put them in captivity, that murdered and killed his people will be held accountable.
That's all fucking
and
belligerent
you know
nonsense, dude.
White people put his people in captivity.
Right.
White people put
What time will he come, bro?
Hispanics, blacks,
What time,
Native
bro?
Indians,
At what
West
time
Indians.
will this man show up? All this shit, you know. What
And
time,
if
bro?
you're a descendant of a white man, listen, man, you going into captivity. Can you get the scripture, Revelation 13 and 9?
I'm in captivity, man.
I'm gonna show you a scripture in the Bible
This
real
is the
quick.
book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
Okay, hey man, you want to hear something, man? Hear this. Go ahead.
Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
One more time.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into
What's the
captivity.
numbers on it, bro? What are the numbers on that scripture? Right.
So did white people
You
put
don't even know
Hispanics
how to
in slavery?
read, dude.
Did white people put Hispanics in? Or better yet, did the Spaniards put the Mexicans into captivity? It's only one answer.
Mexicans are descendants
You
of.
damn right. You damn right. We went into captivity by the Spaniards. So if the Spaniards put us in captivity,
Mexicans can't
guess
fuck
what?
with me, bitch.
Guess
I'll meet
what?
a Mexican in the
Guess what
street
that
right
means?
now. That nigga
That
can't
means
fuck
that you're going into captivity. That means you're gonna go in slavery. Keep
All
going.
right, man.
He that killeth with the sword,
He that do
must kill it with the sword, must
Put
be
me in
killed
captivity.
with
See
the
what
sword.
happens.
And check this out. Hernan Cortez, which was a Spaniard, killed a lot of Mexicans.
You know who Napoleon
Spaniards,
Bonaparte was? You know Napoleon Bonaparte?
all of them.
Portuguese.
Do you know Napoleon?
Killed
English.
Mexicans, Central Americans, South Americans, killed the
British.
Native
Do you know
Indians.
who Napoleon Bonaparte was?
Check this out. And they none of them were ever held accountable for the crimes they committed. So you know who's to be held accountable?
Me, I guess.
Oh my God, he said it. There you go. You're absolutely right, man. You a smart white man. You a smart devil. You a smart devil. And check this out. You are going to be held accountable. You know what I mean?
When, bitch?
And
Give me a date and a time, dude.
Christ is going to hold you accountable.
I'll tell you, I'll be at Walnut Street
Look,
tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
Teach the
You know
truth.
what happened then?
Teach the truth. I'm going to teach the Bible. That's it, man. Don't be mad at me. Be mad at God, man.
So like I said, I got another
mad
piece.
at nobody, man. I really don't give a fuck because I know the truth, man.
You don't know
You
this.
couldn't beat me in this race even if you had a head start.
14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children.
Prepare what?
Slaughter.
One more time.
Slaughter.
Go ahead.
Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers.
So listen, it's the Bible says prepare slaughter for who?
Their children.
You are the children of the slave masters. You the children of the people that put us in captivity.
All right, what about my mom now? What about that side? That doesn't matter?
Your mom might be good. Hey, your mom might be all right.
That's why I'm out here tweaking for my mom, nigga. My mom died when I was
your mom's a black woman?
in a hospital, brody. I'm not playing with none of you niggas, bro.
So your mom's a black woman?
Go through that shit, bitch.
So your mom's a black woman? If she a black woman, she might be all right.
I work with all dead people. Every time I close my eyes, all I see is dead people, bro.
But hey, for you, man, you ain't gonna be good, man. The scripture says, "Well, prepare slaughter for his children." Go ahead.
For the iniquity
fraud, bro.
of their fathers.
For the what?
Iniquity. Know about my father. What about your father, nigga?
The iniquity of their father, man. So
what about your father, bro?
If your father was a Spaniard, man,
your father was a Mexican, so now you're good.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's retarded, nigga. You guys didn't even know how to bathe, bro.
People of God.
All right.
Mexicans are the chosen people of God. We're the descendants of.
All right, then you got it, bro.
You are the
Go
descendants.
ahead, figure it out. You'll find out.
Hey, we're finding out in the Bible. That's how we know we good.
Right.
Because we're in the Bible.
I will pick a Bible up. I told you, I already picked the Bible up, bro.
And what'd you do with it?
I dropped it, and I'm on this now.
You dropped the Bible.
That's more powerful.
Hey, you know what? You did the right thing. You did the right thing by dropping that Bible because the Bible is not for you.
That's right.
You got a Quran, you should follow the Quran.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You should follow the Quran
White
or
Jesus.
Buddhism.
If I get a Torah,
all of that. Pick any religion, but the Bible is not for you.
Right.
You will never understand it because the Bible is not for you.
That's right.
it's for Mexicans.
It is for Mexicans. Yes, the Bible is for Mexicans.
All right.
It's for
That's a
blacks,
good point. You got
Indians.
it.
These are our records. Hey,
Dude, you're retarded, man.
That's the truth.
That's the truth, man. Anything else? What's up? Is that it?
I mean, what else you got, man? You can live your life. Enjoy America, man. Enjoy.
Keep talking that shit. Everybody's on camera. You know that, right?
Yeah, man.
This
You
is
know
your
what?
kingdom.
It's disappointing, man.
Everything is recorded. You know that, right?
Like that. If you're a white man, you should have became a politician. You should have been in the White House. So it sounds like you
But you're talking real tough, though.
Yeah.
You're talking real tough, bro.
It sounds like you're a failed white man.
He a 2-time loser, sir.
You're
right,
a loser in your own kingdom.
Yeah, you're a loser in your own kingdom, man.
Lose your own kingdom,
He
man.
said we're talking tough.
Hey, man, look, I'm just telling you the truth.
This brother out here talking. Well, he's not a brother, but he's talking about
I know MS-13 niggas that'll get you, bro.
Hey,
Stop
man.
with me, bro.
You send them our way, we gonna turn them into prophets of God.
Yeah,
and they gonna hate you.
Right.
Okay.
That's what we gonna do. We gonna bring them fear.
Then I'll get
MS
another gang on you, bro.
We
I'll
gonna
get the Piantas on you, bro.
and we gonna show them that they're the tribe from Zebulon.
Okay,
God,
and then I'll get the other gang on you, nigga. Cause I'm really a gang member, nigga.
Yo, gang member. Okay, what gang you from?
What gang?
Yeah.
Pussy, find out. Do your research.
You from Pussy Find Out?
Go do your research on the gang I'm in.
That's a new gang.
I don't think that's a real gang, man. Pussy Find Out. Hey, listen, man. Check this out.
Pussy Find Out. That's the gang.
That's the gang. Pussy Find Out.
You know what's funny? He's boasting about being a gang member, right? You know, being a gang member is white culture.
I don't care about none of that shit. You play with us, bro. Go ahead, bro. Play with my body.
Your ancestors were the first gangsters, man.
All right,
Al Capone.
That's it, man. We done with you, man. We done. That's it. That's it. All right, Pussy Find Out. Have a good one, man. Take it easy.
He's from PFO. PFO. Pussy Find Out, man. PFO, man.
Hey, man, that was perfect. Well, I don't want to say perfect in the show, man. You know, just something. Anybody else out there?
What happened to the other nigga, man? We gave him an extra minute.
That was him.
Damn, the devil fucking came on, but the brother was, I don't know if he's a brother. Wasn't it something awful?
Why y'all coming out so late, man?
He might have been just laughing at some shit we said.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Salaga, man. Yeah, he's probably
man. But there you go, man. Anybody got any questions or comments? The link's right there. Y'all can jump on, man. Next time, don't wait till freaking midnight to hop on. Just come on with it then, man. But with that, man, we're gonna end the episode unless any other brother got something to say.
Man, that's it, man. It's the inconvenient truth.
Look. Now you're gonna put that's probably the same guy. Well, go ahead, sir. Salaki.
This is the inconvenient truth, man. We're doing it every Friday, 8:00, man. Check us out. We're talking about things that are going on with Hispanics, Mexicans, just things that are going on with our people, man. We do it every Friday, 8:00. You want to call in, you can call in. You got a question, comment, let us know what's going on. Or if there's something going on in your city, something going on in Chicago, something going on in Texas, something going on in North Carolina, South Carolina, New York, you can hit us up, let us know what's going on. We'll talk about it. We'll bring out the articles, bring out scriptures, and we'll talk about anything that's going on.
Counselor, if I could too, if you need counsel, man, if you have any issues going on in your life, reach out, man. We'll help you how to navigate, your life and be prosperous. You can't go and get counsel from anybody, man. It has to be of the men of the Lord, man. Get that counsel as well.
Right, damn right. Well, ya saben, raza, aquí estamos, man. Every Friday night at 8 or through weekly podcast, we'll be on here, man. Present your questions. We have a email. You can email us your questions. Also, it's The Inconvenient Truth 1969 at gmail.com. Let me put it up in there real quick in the comment section real quick. You know, y'all can also email us, you know, and whatever else, any comments, any suggestions, anything y'all, any topics, feel free to reach out, man. Any smoke, any battles, we'll be right here, man. But we'll be back at it next week, Raza. Tune in. Also, real quick, right before I go, subscribe to the channel, man. The QR code's on my upper right-hand side right there. You see it. Subscribe to the Inconvenient Truth on YouTube, man. With that, man, we're going to close it out. Yahweh Hashem Shabbat to the carnales. We'll be back at it again next week. With that, shalom, Israel.
Get some! Get going! That last spray was like, stay in the air? Oh, yeah. All right, man. Jumping jack. Jumping jack. Fight! Yeah! Fight! Get some! Fight! Get